130 years ago, a darkness the world had never seen crept out of the shadows for the very first time. They called it the Silent Night. What followed was a devastating war. Countless men were slaughtered and robbed, and little by little, the whole world lost its vitality. So the greatest martial masters of Murim set aside their rivalries and united, forming a single coalition they named the Heavenly Alliance. Their weapon against the darkness was the Northern Heavenly Sect, warriors raised for one purpose only, to hunt the Silent Night from the frozen wastes of the north. Over 4 brutal generations they bled in that war, until their greatest leader rose. Jean Quanho, the man the whole world feared as the North Wall. For 100 long years, from those barren northern lands, the Northern Heavenly Sect held the line against the Silent Night. And at last, worn down and beaten, the Silent Night simply vanished from the world. The endless war was finally, mercifully over. But the moment peace returned, the impossible happened. The unbreakable North Wall collapsed, not before his enemy, but before his own allies. The Nine Skies, the supreme powers who reign over all of Murim, surrounded his sect and accused Jean Quanho of secretly colluding with the very enemy he had spent his life destroying. "I, Jean Quanho, have lived my entire life without a shred of shame," he roared back. "Your accusation is nothing but nonsense." But the trap was already sealed. His own sworn brothers, the Four Pillars, had testified against him. These were the friends he had trusted at his back on the battlefield for decades. And every one of them had abandoned him. The truth was uglier than any lie. The Northern Heavenly Sect had grown too powerful, and the Alliance would never rule the land while it still stood. So Jean Quanho gave his final command. "The Northern Heavenly Sect is disbanded. Leave this place, my disciples, and live freely." Then he made one last plea. "My son will be left utterly alone in these desolate northern lands. You must promise me," he said, "that you will never lay a hand on him." And after begging his young son's forgiveness, the North Wall drove his own sword into his chest, and died. The sect built to protect the world was gone, its greatest hero destroyed by the very people he had spent his life protecting. 3 years passed. And in the ruins of his home, that son was still a prisoner. His jailers beat him for the sect's hidden secrets, and swore they could stage his death as a suicide and scatter his bones for the wolves. The boy, Jean Muon, only laughed. The soldiers stationed in the ruins wore the mask of guards watching for the Silent Night. But that was only a front. Their true task was to watch the boy, for any sign he was learning to fight, or quietly plotting his revenge. The last living descendant of the Northern Heavenly Sect's leader. That was who they were really here to bury. Yet every report said the same thing. His father had made him read books instead of learning to fight. The boy knew nothing of combat. The Alliance and the Four Pillars had already stripped the sect of every technique and every treasure. Their search had turned up nothing. After a full year lost in despair, doing nothing at all, the boy had finally taken up blacksmithing simply to survive. "I have been left completely alone," he thought. Or perhaps it is more honest to say I was abandoned. But he still heard his father's final words. "From now on, you are the leader of the Northern Heavenly Sect." "I did not climb up here to remind myself how weak I am," he told himself. "I climbed up here to find the will to go on. If I lose heart now, my father's choice to take his own life will have been for nothing." So when his jailers came for the secrets, he fought back the only way he safely could, with words alone. "Kill me," he warned them, "and the scattered warriors of the sect will know it was murder. They will make you pay for it." They had torn these grounds apart for 3 years and found nothing worth a copper coin. Shaken, they finally let him go. Because the sect's greatest weapon was never a thing they could steal. It was etched into the sect itself. The last surviving technique of the Northern Heavenly Sect is written in no manual. It is carved into the sect itself. When the eastern sun rises over the wall of 10,000 spirits, its light throws long shadows across the ancient stone. And where that light falls, meaningless symbols become words, the dead language of the fallen Lower Moon Kingdom. That is why his father taught him letters instead of fighting. To every other eye on earth, the wall is nothing but weathered stone. Only Muon can read it, the last person alive who knows the characters of the Lower Moon Kingdom. Carved there is the wisdom of every leader the sect ever had, a vast technique he must memorize slowly, in secret, while the Alliance watches his every move. His one comfort in those years was Uncle Huang Chiol, a former warrior of the sect. When everyone else deserted the fallen sect, Huang alone kept living for its heir, traveling far to bring the boy food and supplies through the bitter winters. Out in the world, the four pillars who had betrayed the sect scattered and built their own kingdoms across the mainland. And a new name was rising fast. Dam Sucheon, a son of the Nine Skies, was tearing through a 100-man challenge, undefeated duel after duel. Then word came that important guests from the Heavenly Alliance would soon arrive at the ruins. And that same night, a stranger appeared in his front yard. A young woman, poisoned, bleeding, and moments from death. A girl, out of nowhere, dying on his doorstep. Is this some new method of torture, he wondered, or something worse? She had been cut by a poisoned weapon, and the poison was racing to kill her. Muon had exactly one thing that could save her. His last antidote, the single pill the four pillars had never found. It was his final safety net, meant for himself. He used it on a stranger without a second thought. Then he treated the wound the way his father had taught him long ago, and somehow, the bleeding stopped. She slept for 3 days. When she finally woke, she demanded to know who had dared to save her. I could not just leave you there, he told her, dying right in front of my eyes. I did not want to watch another person die. She gave up only a name, Moon Hanseol, and with nowhere else in the world to go, she stayed. What a strange man, she thought. Why is he so kind to me, when he does not even know who I am? For in her veins ran the deadliest poison in all the world, the blood soul poison, and its grip was already tightening again. Before the poison could finish her, a mysterious man appeared and drew it out with his own energy. Sarion, her sworn protector. He called her Miss, and spoke of a master they both served. Hanseol was no ordinary traveler at all. They had been ambushed, he told her, and the ruined Northern Heavenly Sect was the last place their enemies would ever think to look. Alone again, Muon returned to his true training, the sect's hidden art, the shadow energy. At the root there is only one energy, its teaching goes, but another follows it as its shadow. In the end, all things become one. Light shines upon the entire world. But I will exist only as a single shadow. An energy so still and so dark that no warrior alive, however great, could ever sense it within him. He chose not to ask Hanseol who she truly was. I have a feeling, he admitted, I could not sit across from you like this if I knew. And on the wall waited the next secret, the blade of darkness and destruction, a sword art forged for one purpose alone. To kill. Then the guests arrived, the children of the Nine Skies themselves, the highest bloodlines in all of Murim, come to the ruins of the sect their families had destroyed. To keep Hanseol safe, Muon introduced her to them as nothing more than a distant cousin, staying with him for a time. Among the guests was General Mok Wupyeong, a cold, ambitious man who dreamed of one day ruling the deadly skies himself. Something at the ruins was bothering him, and that something was the sect's heir. He sought Muon out at his forge. You have mastered no martial arts, he said, and yet you stand so calmly in this killing heat. How very curious. The son of the North Wall, with no skills at all? He did not believe a word of it. Then he unleashed a wave of pure murderous energy. Go on, he said. Give it everything you have. Muon's mind raced behind a calm face. Reveal my power now, he knew, and everything I have endured for years is wasted. To force the truth out of him, Shimwoni, a son of the Nine Skies, ran the boy clean through with a blade. Muon took the wound in silence. Revealing his power was still a price he refused to pay. How could the son of the North Wall fail to dodge so simple a strike? The doubt only deepened. I am sorry, the captain said, escorting him away. I did not know young Master Shim would be so violent. Hanseol was furious. You should have fought back, she snapped, even if you had no chance of winning. At least you should have run. Thank you, Hanseol, he said quietly. No one but Uncle Huang had bothered to scold him in years. But far beyond the walls, something was closing in. The Silent Knight's elite scouts had found the sect at last. They challenged the wrong traveler. I am always up for a fight, he laughed. Come at me. And a single unstoppable warrior tore the entire troop apart in moments. Here I come, Northern Heavenly Sect. The demon of chaos, Tae-Mukong, had arrived, and the Silent Knight's own ghost troop already lay dead at his feet. That brat really is something, he grinned. Who would have guessed he would be hiding here? We have finally found the rabbit that got away. And he loosed his dark wolves on the hunt. Before she left, Han Seol pressed a small gift into Muwon's hands, something to remember her by. He had not expected a present, and did not quite know what to do with the feeling it gave him. Never forget, her protector warned her coldly. You are the Silent Knight's only hope. You must never love anyone. Meanwhile, a broken warrior named So Musang drowned in rage and self-doubt, ready to kill. When a man doubts himself, a hidden voice told him, a demon grows in his heart. Quell your rage, and your mind becomes as serene as still water. Water flows to the lowest places, while sunlight lifts it back into the sky. The heart, the voice said, is no different. The voice belonged to no one he could see. And it changed him completely. Then the rising star of the age arrived. Dam Sucheon, undefeated through 100 duels, yet wounded by an enemy he could not name. A son of the nine skies, hailed across murim as the lone star in the blue sky. The others waved Muwon off as a pathetic little brat, not worth a second glance. But Dam Sucheon bowed to him with genuine respect, honoring the man who still carried the sect's legacy. The ruins mean nothing to me, he said. I am simply glad to meet the heir of the Northern Heavenly Sect with my own eyes. That night the guests invited their host to a banquet at Wachan Palace, a strange courtesy hiding a purpose of its own. They meant only to keep their secret society quiet by binding Muwon as their witness. And yet, quietly, Dam sensed it too. The spirit and strength of this sect, he thought, has been passed down to this man. They gathered to declare a new brotherhood, the Blue Dragon Society, with the sect's heir as their sworn witness. But that night, the trap sprang shut. The Silent Knight stormed the ruins, hunting a hidden prize. Dam Sucheon charged in headlong, certain that crushing them would only grow his legend. Are you from the Silent Knight? He demanded, as the intruders cut down the guards. But one of them was no ordinary enemy. It was the demon of chaos, a monster of an entirely different order. If you truly are the Silent Knight, Dam laughed, then defeating you will make my name immortal. That is not nearly enough to take me down, Tae-Mukong sneered, shrugging off the young star's finest blow. The undefeated 100-man challenger was broken in a single instant. I am sparing you only for your potential. Train harder, the monster said, and die more entertainingly next time. As the sect burned, the proud children of the Nine Skies thought only of saving their own skins. This boy could be useful to us, one of them mused, but I have no choice except to abandon him for now. And so they fled for the mainland, leaving Muwon behind without a flicker of guilt. And though he knew they would leave him to die, he still bought them the time they needed to escape. Then the demon of chaos turned to Muwon. We meet again, brat. And behind him came the truth, stepping out of the smoke. The Witch of the White Knight, one of the Silent Knight's dreaded Great Four Masters. Demons so terrible that even the Nine Skies of the Alliance dared not face them, nor even speak their names. And this witch was Han Seol's master. The girl he had saved was the Silent Knight's chosen hope. The monster closed in, and Han Seol threw herself over Muwon to shield him with her own body. You are the only person, she whispered, who has ever shown me any kindness. Farewell, Muwon, the monster said, and brought his blade crashing down. And a shadow caught the strike cold. Sorry, a voice said. Looks like I kept you waiting too long. I am the 5th generation leader of the Northern Heavenly Sect. Jin Muwon. Stay right behind me, he told her. Do not go anywhere. His strange power did the impossible. It stopped the monster's near-immortal body from healing itself. Your energy makes me deeply uncomfortable, Tae-Mukong growled. I must kill you, once and for all. A boy in his very first true battle, slipping past the fists of the demon of chaos. Nearby, So Musang refused to flee, shaming a coward who would abandon the very soldiers who had died following him. Have you been hiding this strength from me the whole time? The monster snarled. Just what training is this? Even with his all-seeing sense, the next blow would be almost impossible to dodge. So Muon drew the sect's forbidden art at last, a sort of shadow that brings ruin to the world. The blade of darkness and destruction. It looks just like a shadow. Muon moved as living darkness, and the demon of chaos could not strike what he could not see. You may be a tiger without teeth, the monster growled, but you are still a tiger. You creepy brat. Where in the world did you learn such a bizarre technique? For all his near-immortal flesh, the monster's wounds would not close against Muon's blade. You are on a completely different level than the others. Have you been hiding this all along? But Muon was still only half-trained, and the monster was far from beaten. Hanseol threw herself into the fight to protect him, and paid dearly for it. Then her master arrived in full. Seryong at her side, the Witch of the White Night had come for her protégé. Hanseol threw herself between them. He did nothing wrong, she begged. This is all my fault. He saved my life, she pleaded, squeezing his hand. It was the first kindness I have ever known. The witch studied Muon coldly. So you are the last leader of the Northern Heavenly Sect. He is no clawless cub, she said. He is a full-grown tiger who has hidden his claws. A weed like that must be pulled out early. But he saved my life, Hanseol cried. Spare him, just this once. It is my first and last request. The witch relented at last, but only at a cruel price paid by Hanseol herself. Take this, the girl whispered to him, before she was led away. Never appear before this child again, the witch warned Muon, or I promise you will regret it. And as Hanseol vanished into the night, Muon made a silent vow. I am going to get stronger. I swear it. The survivors could scarcely believe what they had seen. His swordsmanship gave me goosebumps, one whispered. Has he been hiding such power all along, enduring everything, when he could have crushed them from the start? And a hidden voice had guided them too. Your rage will only burn you in the end, it had said. It can never be a real solution. One man understood exactly what had happened. So Musang, the warrior Muon had quietly enlightened, knelt before him. I swear before the gods to live and die for you, he vowed. From this day, you are my one and only master. In a world ruled by schemes and betrayal, he thought, this is the only man left with an honest heart and an unyielding spirit. Muon accepted him. You will become my first sword. But the Heavenly Alliance was already coming to investigate the attack, and the heir of the sect could not be found here. Uncle Huang raced to the sect and found it in ruins, frantic with worry for his young master. It is all right, Uncle Huang, the boy told him. I am only grateful that you are here now. The dragon that had hidden so long, he realized, had finally set out to grow his wings. To protect his master, so Musang gave the alliance a lie. The heir of the sect, he said, died in the fire. And he let them drag him away for interrogation without a single word of protest. Muon vanished to a mountain no living soul knew, called Jiakum, to bury himself in training. To the rest of the world, he told Huang, I am already a dead man. That is how heartless this world is. My journey, he vowed, begins here. Far to the south, the powerful white dragon merchants caught word of something strange stirring in Yunnan. The founder's third son volunteered to go himself, to the branch he had built with his own hands. And their shrewd matriarch insisted he take one trusted man along, a humble, curiously lucky bodyguard named Huang Chiol. There was nothing remarkable about him, and his fighting was far from great. So what had earned the matriarch's trust? 7 long years had passed. When Huang climbed the mountain again, the frail boy was gone. In his place stood a formidable young man, forged by a full decade in the shadows. Even if I died right now, the old man wept, I would have no regrets. The strange meteor rock had become a sword, and even Huang could feel the sinister power sleeping within it. Out in the world, the 4 pillars had only grown mightier, while the silent night had melted away once more. Huang left with a promise to return in the spring. Muon watched the old man ride away. 3 months passed. Then 2 more. Spring became summer, and Uncle Huang never came back. He would never break a promise, Muon knew. Something has happened to him. And after 10 years of waiting in the dark, the fifth leader of the Northern Heavenly Sect finally rose. I refused to wait around any longer. 10 grueling days of travel carried the shadow back into the world, to the bustling trade city of Lanzhou. For years he had thought only of training. Uncle Huang was the one person who had always been on his side. And yet, he realized, he knew almost nothing about the old man. Please, he thought, be safe. At the White Dragon Merchants, he gave only the name Jean, and asked after a young bodyguard close to his uncle. The bodyguard Huang Chiol, he said, is my uncle. They had not heard from Huang in 6 months. He had gone to Yunnan with the merchant's third young master to settle trouble there, and vanished without a trace. Devastated, the White Dragon matriarch had gathered her strongest warriors to march on Yunnan. For years the merchants had refused to bow to the mighty fist, the power that rules Yunnan. Now, desperate, they were forced to beg its help. To find their people, they hired the fearsome mercenaries of the Iron Sect. Muon asked only to come along, willing to do any odd job, so long as it took him to Yunnan. And there he finally met Kwok Moonyung, the clumsy young bodyguard his uncle had taken under his wing. Even the matriarch's own daughter, Yu Xiaowen, refused to stay behind. Because, she said, we are family. On the road, Moonyung opened up. His own father had been a bodyguard too, killed on a mission much like this one. Uncle Huang had taught the untalented boy a secret mind control art just to keep him alive. He called it the three-circle technique, and swore it was the path to one day becoming a martial master. Everyone else told me to give up, Moonyung said. Only Mr. Huang ever believed in me. Muon wrestled with a question of his own. Once I find Uncle Huang in Hanseol, what then? Should I take my revenge on the Heavenly Alliance? Father would want me to abandon the grudge and simply live free. But even now, he admitted, my blood is boiling. At a roadside inn, they stopped to eat, and walked straight into another man's old grudge. There Moonyung met a kind girl named Ham Soyoung, the daughter of the inn's cook. My father always told me, Moonyung said, that protecting others is the most admirable thing a man can do. Then warriors of the Gongdong sect stormed in, accusing the cook of chipping their prodigy's tooth. The cook was Ham Taepyeong, a man once expelled from that very sect. It was no accident. It was the petty revenge of a jealous former rival named Mohi. 15 years ago, Ham Taepyeong had beaten him for the coveted title of the Gongdong prodigy. Soon after, Taepyeong was framed for a crime, stripped of his martial arts, and cast out of the sect. Now, humiliated all over again, the old cook could only beg as they moved to cripple him. Moonyung threw himself in front of the old man, and nearly lost his arm for it. You're a petty bodyguard, they sneered, playing at being a warrior. How dare you interfere? Then a hand caught the falling blade, bare-fingered. The warrior's hand, a master's technique, stopping a killing blow with nothing but his fingertips. I'm like this boy's big brother, the stranger said quietly. So I suggest you stop. A warrior, he told them, should care about helping people. And since your hands have forgotten how to show mercy, you are no true warrior at all. The Gongdong warriors drew on him in a fury. But he moved like nothing they had ever seen, and one by one they dropped. How dare you strike a member of the Gongdong sect, one gasped. Do you think you'll get away with this? Then I'll simply get rid of your precious 9 great sects myself, he answered, with my own hands. The merchant's heir, Yu Xiaowen, was furious. He had made an enemy of one of the great sections. Shouldn't you first ask what caused this, he replied, and whether the victims are all right? Does the mighty Gongdong sect, he asked, have the right to treat human lives as if they mean nothing? Nothing in this world lasts forever, he told her. Not even them. Everyone claims that justice is dead, that one man can never change the world. Even so, he said, I can be a small lantern in the darkness. A guiding star for others. That is the path I chose. You started a fight you couldn't finish, he told Moonyung. Anyone can. What matters is handling the aftermath. Still, 2 people are alive because of you. You did the right thing. How? The boy asked. Do I get strong enough to catch a blade with my bare fingers? The answer lay in Muon's own past, in the meteor rock Uncle Huang had once given him. For too long, stubborn years he had fought to forge it into a blade. Until at last a sword was born, and he named it Snowflower. It was neither divine nor demonic. It was a cursed blade, and its dark energy hungered to swallow its wielder. Impressed, the Iron Sect's vice captain quietly brought them food, a mark of respect. Then the head disciple of the Gongdong sect arrived, hunting the swordsman from the north. It was your disciples, Muon said, who laid hands on others first. With a single draw of his sword, he turned aside every one of the sect's great disciples at once. He struck only with the flat of his blade, beating them senseless without taking a single life. That man, they finally understood in horror, is a martial master. The world is vast, one merchant murmured, full of hidden geniuses who cut themselves off from it. Even the proud Iron Sect admitted it. That man might truly be able to change the world. Fight me at your full strength, the head disciple roared. It's been a long time since I fought anyone, Muon said. Then I will do as you wish. And he unleashed the blade of darkness and destruction. But at the last moment, the old cook threw himself forward, begging him to stop. And the truth spilled out. The whole affair had been built on the lie that ruined Tapion years ago. The Gongdong sect, Muon saw plainly, was rotten to its very core. Shamed to the bone, the head disciple knelt and swore the sect would make amends. In thanks, he pointed Muon toward a strange man in Yunnan, the scholar with 3 brains. And only then did they realize who the swordsman truly was. Jin Moon. Jin Muon? The 3-circle technique Uncle Huang taught you, he told Munyong, is no ordinary art. Train patiently, he said, and carry a heavier sword. It will suit the man you are going to become. Delighted, the boy swore he would. At a rundown workshop, an old blacksmith saw the truth in Muon's hands at a single glance. This cursed blade carries the anguish of a slaughtered tribe, Muon explained. Never let it swallow your mind. Then the old man brought out a mighty sword no one had ever been strong enough to wield. Munyong could barely lift it, but it was forged for the warrior he would one day grow into. The old smith gave it freely, for the simple pleasure of company in his dusty shop. Munyong named the heavy blade the Crimson Fawn, and carried it with fierce pride. On the road, they found thugs beating a helpless old couple in broad daylight. Before Muon could even move, a stranger ended it with the flick of a finger. The Iron Sect's captain had arrived. Yong Nuzong, the boisterous captain of the Iron Sect, took an instant liking to the quiet swordsman. The stronger you are, the better, he laughed, dragging Muon into their war council. Yunnan was a powder keg. The Mighty Fist and the Deep Blue Sect were at each other's throats. And the Heavenly Alliance, which should have kept the peace, was doing nothing at all. Merchants kept vanishing, and the whole province's lifeblood was drying up. Someone, Muon suspected, was deliberately choking Yunnan from the shadows. This world, the captain warned him, is far vaster and more dangerous than you could imagine. He took Muon to the Black Moon, a shadow network that sells its secrets only to the powerful. Their intelligence confirmed it. A hidden third party was stoking Yunnan's war. And the Heavenly Alliance had quietly sent a secret team of its own into the province. The broker warned the captain that an old enemy had hired assassins to kill him. The Black Moon's leader, meanwhile, set her finest agent on the trail of the man called Jean. That night, the Iron Sect wiped out the entire Nung family, the man who had threatened them and every innocent with him. Did you really have to kill them all? Muon asked, his voice cold. If I don't strike first, the captain answered, I lose. That is the reality of this dirty world. But cowards, Muon said, are nothing more than that. At last they reached Yunnan, and rode straight into a massacre. The Tang Cliff village, home of Sichuan's poison masters, the esteemed Tang family. Its head was the king of 10,000 poisons, and his granddaughter, Tang Mirio, now rode to Yunnan at the Alliance's request. If you sense any danger, her grandfather warned, do not hesitate to flee. Our family's lives come first. But on the road, they were ambushed. Their attackers fought on even after breathing lethal poison, mindless killers who did not care whether they lived or died. I cannot fight, her wounded uncle gasped, but my poison is deadlier than any blade. Still he fell, gravely hurt, as Mirio screamed for someone to help. With nowhere left to run, she fled toward the only travelers in sight. "We're the Tang family," she cried. "We were ambushed. Please, help us." The Iron Sect hesitated. Was it a trap? Should they risk everything for strangers? Muon did not hesitate. "Get in the carriage," he said. "We are already surrounded," he told them. "If you want to live, prepare to fight." He set Moon Young to guarding the wounded. "There is no better lesson," he said, "than the real thing." Their attackers were the Red Ghost Troop, killers from far beyond the mainland. "The world outside your home is a battlefield," Muon told the trembling merchant heir. "Stay right behind me." Then he cut down their vice captain in a single stroke. "You noticed our ambush from a distance," their captain marveled. "Just who are you?" The Red Ghost Captain, Nam Kunwi, challenged him. "Defeat me," he said, "and I'll tell you what you want to know." This man is different, the captain realized. He has honed his basics beyond any warrior of the mainland. So he unleashed his fiercest art, the truth of the fiery dragon spear. It should have torn Muon apart. It did not even scratch the clothes Uncle Huang had made for him. Nearby, Moon Young stood frozen in terror, his sword trembling in his hands. "Muon taught me every single day," the boy told himself. "Am I really going to stand here and never even swing?" And he found his courage, planting himself to cover the wounded. Then Muon caught the captain's final blow barehanded and slammed him to the ground. "Now," he said, "answer my question." "The disappearances," the captain confessed. "They are our doing." But before Muon could learn more, the killers blew themselves apart, leaving no bodies and no trace. "This is only the beginning," one whispered before he died. In the aftermath, the Iron Sect paid its respects to the Tang family they had helped save. "You judge the worth of a life by a person's status," the poison master observed quietly. "That," the captain admitted, "is simply the way this world works." The Tang master healed his own wounds the only way he could, by breathing in deadly poison. From this day on, one of them said, the whole world will speak that swordsman's name. Muon still wore the one gift his father left him, robes dyed in the Northern Heavenly Sect's rust red. In gratitude, the Tang master pressed a priceless pill on him, and a jade seal that opened any door. Then Muon learned who truly ruled Yunnan. Zhou Chanwo, the Demon Fist, one of the 4 pillars who betrayed his father. The man had once been my father's closest friend, he thought. An uncle I looked up to. He would not walk into the mighty fist at the merchant's side. There was something he had to do first. So Muon parted from the White Dragon merchants and went his own way. But Moon Young refused to leave him. "Moon showed me a glimpse of his dream," the boy said. "I want to see how far mine can go." "Did he say," someone whispered, "that he came from the north?" Leaving Moon Young to train, Muon set out alone to find the eccentric strategist. The scholar with 3 brains, they called him, a genius who had one day lost his mind. Everywhere Muon followed his trail, he found only chaos and laughter left in the man's wake. An illusion caster who robbed a gambling den blind and then vanished into thin air. "Where on earth are you?" Muon sighed, "scholar with 3 brains?" At last, Muon walked straight into the scholar's grand illusion, and cut through it on instinct alone. "You cunning bastard," the scholar laughed. "You hide a strength no one can detect." "I'm searching for people who vanished here 6 months ago," Muon said. "Do you know what happened to them?" "Then give up," the scholar warned. "Even if it costs you your own life?" "This person," Muon answered, "is worth risking my life for." "Then go to Yushi," the scholar told him. "That city is the very heart of it all." "You're not crazy," Muon said. "You've only been trying to understand what humans become when pushed to their limits." Far away, the truth sat upon a throne. Zhou Chanwo, the Demon Fist, was the mastermind behind it all. The North Wall was a fool, he sneered of his dead friend, too weak-willed to seize a world he could have ruled. "Hundreds will die before I am done," he said. "Great work always comes at a price." The Red Ghost captain had confessed that someone far greater still pulled the strings. Then a chilling, beautiful melody called to Muon across the water. "You really came, Master Jean," said the man behind the music. "My name is GM Daniop." "So it's you," Muon realized. "You are the one behind everything happening in Yunnan." "The missing people," the man admitted, "are indeed still alive." "Release them," Muon said, "and I will get out of your sight." "I'm afraid I can't," the man smiled. "It seems we are fated to face off in a bloody match." Face to face with the mastermind at last, Muon demanded answers. "This is not the time or place to fight," the musician smiled. "Where are they?" Muon pressed. "What are you plotting?" "The world I know always has two sides," GM Daniop mused, drawing his blade of sound. "Delusion and truth appear as one. The sky dreams of a secret night," he said. "And the secret night will break out of its shell." On the road to Yushi, young Moonyoung insisted on carrying everything. "This is what I trained for," he beamed. "My mother left right after I was born," the boy admitted quietly. "My father was a bodyguard too. He was never home. It was lonely, growing up by myself." Muon laid a hand on his head. "You are a bright and high-spirited young man," he said. And the lonely boy walked a little taller. The road to Yushi ran through wild country, and hoofbeats thundered up behind them. It was the Tang family, riding hard. "Master Jean, what a surprise," the poison master called warmly. The Heavenly Alliance had suddenly changed its plans, dragging every faction to the same cursed city. "This is Master Jean," Tang Kimin introduced him proudly. "The man who saved my life on the road." With them rode the Mighty Fist's own commander, the eight-armed master, Lim Suquang, one of the strongest men in Yunnan. "I hear you possess impressive fighting skills at such a young age," the commander said, quietly measuring the swordsman. And so rivals, allies, and strangers all converged on Yushi, every thread of the mystery pulling toward one knot. That night, an intruder crept through the sleeping camp, the whole party drugged with the 100-day dream. He catalogued them one by one. A porter. A servant. Nothing important. "But there is something odd about this Jean fellow," the spy muttered. "It is as if he fell out of the sky one day. No history. No sect. No records at all, just a man who appeared from nowhere with impossible skill." Then the sleeping swordsman's eyes snapped open. "I let my guard down," Muon thought. "I still have far to go." The intruder froze mid-step, crushed under the pressure of the cursed blade's seeping energy. A face swap technique, Muon noted. The same energy as the innkeeper from earlier. He had been followed for days. "Now," he said calmly, drawing Snowflower. "Who the hell are you?" The spy was a sky-rank agent of the Black Moon's secret moon, its most elite watchers. "I am not just changing my face," the man protested, shifting bodies like clothes. "They call me the man with many faces. But after catching me once," he groaned, "this monster recognizes me no matter what I wear. I came to keep an eye on him, and he has turned the tables completely." Yushi, when they reached it, was a slaughterhouse. The Red Ghost Troop lay dead in the streets, their bodies tangled with those of innocent civilians. Even the Mighty Fist's own men were shaken. "I have no idea," one whispered, "what the future of this sect holds." Master Lim. New fighting broke out in the streets, unidentified warriors carving through everything. "What on earth is going on here?" the commander roared. "Who is responsible for this? Protect Master Tang as if your life depends on it." "I will track down those scoundrels." "I did not know a swordsman like that existed in this world," a survivor whispered, watching Muon move. "It is not just his skill. His energy is something else entirely. Who on earth are you?" Then they found the missing, and their blood ran cold. The kidnapped merchants and bodyguards, alive, and utterly gone. The victims had been poisoned and twisted into mindless, snarling madmen. The same madmen who had been ripping people apart across Yunnan for months. And no cure for the lunacy had ever been found. Following the horror to its source, Muon found a hidden space beneath the city. "Was it you," he asked the shadows, "who turned all these people into monsters?" I had a feeling Master Jean would get involved, the enemy commander mused. But he is different from the man I met before. Captain Yul was cut down before he could even unleash his 13 deadly fists. We are the mighty fist, the soldiers roared. Zhou Chanhua's mighty fist. Do you know who you are dealing with? What is the big deal, Muon answered coldly, about Zhou Chanhua or the mighty fist? What gives you the right to slaughter a whole city just to catch your enemies? How many innocents died for it? And in that moment they understood this swordsman was no one's ally. He answered to something older. In the shadows, the Silent Knight's children turned on their own. You are the last hope? One spat at Daniop. Yeah, right. And Nam Kunwi, the Red Ghost captain, waited in swinging to protect his gentle friend, just like always. I am fine, Daniop smiled. I always have someone strong coming to my rescue. Then the final duel began. Let me ask one last time, Muon said. Are there victims hidden elsewhere? Find that out for yourself, the musician laughed and unleashed everything he had. His sound arts were legend, the power that once brought mass destruction to the bloodiest battlefield of the Great War. Wave after wave of killing sound crashed down, enough to shred a fortress. Are you really not going to answer my question? Muon pressed through the storm. Impressive, Master Jean, the musician gasped between blows. Very impressive. Even his allies, arriving too late, could only stare at what was left of the battlefield. I am impressed, Master Jean, Daniop breathed at the end, broken and smiling. So this is the true power of the Northern Heavenly Sect. Do not mourn me, he said. This is the price I pay for what I have done. And I have already achieved my purpose. The louder and grander my death, the greater the mark it leaves on the Silent Knight and the Heavenly Alliance alike. My death will wake the Silent Knight once more. So I have no regrets. Thank you, Master Jean. His true plan had been to die at the hands of Zhou Chanwu himself, the traitor pillar. Muon had simply made the ending grander. And with his last breath, he gave Muon the truth. The ancient valley, in the Ileo Mountains. Go there. That is where you will find the missing merchants and bodyguards. I hope you find your uncle there. Meanwhile, the Tang Poison Master worked through the night, hunting the cause of the madness. If my prediction is correct, he murmured, this poison is man-made. Someone built this lunacy on purpose. And an envoy of the Heavenly Alliance arrived in Yushi, carrying orders from the very top. The truth could no longer be denied. The Silent Knight has emerged again. The legendary Great Four Masters are alive and well. Which means Un Hanseol, Muon realized, is safe and sound. I killed people, just like everyone else, he reflected in the quiet. Resentment only breeds more resentment. Then the Iron Sect came roaring back into his life, grinning ear to ear. The Northern Blade. The captain bellowed. That is your nickname now. A new star has risen in the world of murim. Word had spread everywhere. And if the rumors had reached the streets, they had reached the Heavenly Alliance too. This may sound shameless, the Iron Sect strategist bowed, but you are the only person we can rely on. We failed to recognize your skill, he admitted. Please overlook our foolishness. There are no eternal allies or foes in this world, the captain laughed. Let us help each other. Together they rode for the Ileo Mountains, a place so thick with ghostly energy that no one dared approach. Muon sent the merchants back to safety. Prepare warm bedding, the Iron Sect joked, and a magnificent feast for our return. Then the hunters formed up, and the expedition descended into the ancient valley. And there, in the dark, after 10 years, after everything, Muon found him. Uncle Wong. Alive. I had to come, Muon said, when I found out you were in danger. The old man wept. I am not dreaming, am I? He pressed the Tang Master's priceless red-silver pill into Huang's hands, the antidote drawing the poison from his body. It will detoxify you, Muon told him gently, and shield you for 10 years to come. But no one else in the valley was conscious. Rows of sleeping captives, and something very, very wrong. Was it months ago, Huang murmured, that we were ambushed and taken? I can barely remember. And deep below, the enemy kept working. Inject the new captives, a voice ordered. The ones who have fully become madmen, send them out. Far away, a squad of assassins learned a fatal lesson: never take a contract on the Witch of the White Night. Kill the young witch, the request said. We realized we didn't stand a chance, the survivor coughed and chose to back down. You came at me first, Seong answered coldly. Why should I let you live? You sent these assassins, right? She asked her handler afterward. They're too weak. Hire better ones next time. Then the summons came. Master would like to speak with you. Meanwhile, at the White Dragon Merchants, Miss Seoyeon welcomed her third brother home, and her happy shout turned into a scream of horror. The young master had been poisoned into madness. A bodyguard named Huang Cheol had pressed his acupoints early, slowing the spread. Or so everyone believed. The master of 10,000 poisons himself agreed to treat the boy, and honor money cannot buy. But the poison master needed one thing: the source of the poison. And someone in the household went pale. Introducing the Heavenly Alliance, where the great families breed their heirs. Seomoon Hyeryang of the Seomoon family. Where's Suchin? Still training? That stubborn fool, hasn't he trained enough? 7 years ago, Dam Suchin suffered a humiliating defeat at the Northern Heavenly Sect, and never forgave himself. Who would join the Blue Dragon Society when its leader is this weak? He said, and vanished to train. I'll be back once I've reached my peak. And elsewhere, a beaten man knelt before the Crimson Jade Master, Shim Moe. How dare you come back in such a state? At Chongwayan, an arrogant messenger shoved his way through. Do you have any idea who sent me? 7 years ago, this man captained the Heavenly Alliance's third external team at the Northern Heavenly Sect. On the night everyone was slaughtered, he abandoned them all and fled to save himself. Oh, Vice Captain. Long time no see. The deserter Jang Peisan had just met his past. I heard you've been working as an errand dog for the Deadly Skies in the Seomoon family, Jang Peisan. The Heavenly Alliance, Muon mused. The organization every warrior dreams of joining, ruled by the 9 skies who brought down his father's sect. My nickname, the Northern Blade, is spreading across the land. It's a matter of time before the world hunts my identity. Now that it's come to this, maybe it's better that I seek them out myself. And the crazy scholar, Ha Jinwol, the scholar with 3 brains, offered to become his strategist. He proposed we go to the Heavenly Alliance together. A detour first, a massacred village, and a sacred rock that fell from the sky, calling to Muon's blacksmith friend. The rumors said the mighty fist did this. But why would one of the 4 pillars massacre a tribe in the middle of nowhere? Inside the cave, the ringing grew stronger. Then the ground shook. The demon fist, Jo Chanwo, betrayer of the Northern Heavenly Sect, was standing outside. Are you the Northern Blade? Refusing to use the power you have is a crime, the old monster declared. Has the demon fist gone mad? Is he trying to turn the entire mainland against him? I've stopped and killed thousands from the Silent Night with my fists, he raged. The mainland kept its peace thanks to my efforts, and what did I get in return? Jo Chanwo appears to be blinded by his own rage, the scholar observed. Time for mathematics. Enemy, 20 elite martial masters. Us, 8 Iron Sect warriors and bodyguards who'd be lucky to survive. Clear day, level ground, tall trees, and here come the dark clouds. Kid, Moon Young, right? Come here. The scholar's battle plan was already turning. I can do it. I can do it. Young Moon Young ran the scholar's route, marking trees with shaking hands. Then a mighty fist elite caught him. Did you think you could dent a body trained by the steel attack? And his teacher's words came back. Keep a level head. Your eyes level. Breathe from your lower abdomen. Just keep telling yourself you can even if it's a lie. Then the lie will eventually become the truth. I believe in you, Moon Young. This guy is nothing compared to Muon. The masters clashed. Dragon's scale blade. He deflected my attack with the wind from his fist alone? Big movements don't matter, the demon fist laughed, as long as they're powerful. Demonic soul slash. The forest split open. And the scholars' falling trees kept cutting the battlefield apart, hit and run, bleed them slowly, break their minds. Then the demon fist saw the sword style clearly. Mu 1. You're the Northern Blade. I thought you had died. Long time no see, Uncle. You're part of the problem, Uncle Joe. All you gained from betraying the Northern Heavenly Sect was one small territory, and you couldn't even manage that. There was a time when I respected you. You seemed stronger and more upright than anyone I knew. It seems I misjudged you. How disappointing. So this is the skill of the new rising star, the old pillar grinned through crossed blades. But something was wrong. Sect leader Jean never taught Muon to fight. The pillars split the sect's techniques among themselves. So where on earth did Muon learn his sword skills? The answer came as darkness. The blade of darkness and destruction. Blood flash. Cornered, the old monster unleashed his ultimate art, the renewed fist of heaven. He's fast. Is he behind me? Too bad you're the son of a traitor, the demon fist spat. So what if it's not true? If the whole world believes it to be true, then it is. That's the reality of this world. You're the son of a traitor. It's time to return to your father's embrace. Then the enemies froze. What was that? I thought I saw the form of a woman. A fighting style with no sound, no shadow, unreadable. If it wasn't for Snowflower, Muon breathed, I would have lost consciousness. This is the chance she created for me. My body won't move. The demon fist realized, far too late. Where did you master these sword techniques? The broken pillar whispered. The Northern Heavenly Sect. Despite having started at the Northern Heavenly Sect, I still can't seem to defeat its descendants. Finish me off. Do you expect an apology for what I did? That would only contradict how I truly feel. And so the demon fist died unrepentant. Aftermath. New robes, burned camps, and a route decided, through Sichuan, past the Tang family's cliff village, to the Heavenly Alliance itself. The Tang family is prestigious within the Alliance, Uncle Huang warned. This could become a burden. There's no problem in this world that can't be resolved, Muon answered. It all depends on your will. The time has come for the new to replace the old. The upheaval of an era sweeps everything away. Those who refuse to fight will vanish along with the old. The age of the warrior approaches. But one detail kept gnawing at Muon. Why didn't you use the blood of 10 women technique, the demon fist had asked. Could that technique have actually been used by Master Jean? 10 days to the Tang village. The caravan rolled on. Then, in the middle of the wilderness, a lone campsite, and a woman who shouldn't exist. She's beautiful, but what's a pretty maiden doing alone out here, hundreds of miles from anyone? It's porridge made with lamb, the merchant offered kindly. Quite tasty, if I do say so myself. She stared at the bowl. Have I tasted this before? No person around for hundreds of miles. Wolves in the dark. And a woman with no memory and no fear. Who is she? Find out in part 5. The chapter opens on a name whispered like a legend. The Sacred Light. 160 years ago, a warrior obsessed with winning walked into the world and refused to lose. After thousands of fights, he built the technique he wanted. One that stands as the antithesis of all evil and darkness. The light gets handed down, person to person, each inheritor sharpening it further. The sixth to inherit it is Dam Suchin. Suchin admits something the world never learned. 7 years ago, he was beaten. He is certain the enemy who humiliated him came from the Silent Night, and he intends to collect that debt. Just wait, he says. Elsewhere, Tang Kimin quizzes Ryuzan on poison. Poison kills, he agrees, but the right poison is medicine. He calls it life poison. Theory finished, The old master hands his new student a cup and tells him to drink up. Ryuzen's face says everything. Ryuzen drains it and walks away fine. Kimon is delighted. The boy's tolerance for poison is higher than his own. Breakfast, lunch and dinner of life poison forces Ryuzen's acupuncture points open. Then Kimon introduces his new combat mentor, Master Jean. Muon's teaching method is simple. Dodge or get hit. Ryuzen learns it the hard way as the group finally reaches the Tangcliff village. Mirio cannot stop thinking about the Tang warriors they left behind. Her uncle tells her their deaths were not her fault, and that they should live for the ones who did not come back. The Tang household erupts when their elder walks back through the gate alive. Master, you're safe. Muon takes in the estate. Unlike most prestigious families, the Tangs built their home surrounded by nature. Then he feels it. Murderous intent, aimed straight at him, and he smiles. An invisible master toys with him using a hiding technique. Muon pins the man anyway. More than 40 jangs to the right. The prankster reveals himself. He is the head of the household, Tang Jianwo, the king of 10,000 poisons. Then Jianwo asks the real question, is he the last leader of the Northern Heavenly Sect, Jin Muon? Muon answers plainly. Yes, I am. Jianwo is shaken. Nobody has ever broken his scattered leaves of the White Knight that easily. Then comes the confession. When the Northern Heavenly Sect fell 10 years ago, the Tang family watched and did nothing. He calls it what it was. His sin, and the height of his cowardice, a weight on his chest ever since he heard of Muon's father's death. Jianwo asks if Muon is ready for the harsh destiny ahead. Muon says he does not know what waits at the end, but he started the journey and he will finish it. The old Poison King makes his decision. This time he will not be an idle onlooker. The Tang family will support Muon, whatever he chooses. Far away, the news lands hard. Zhou Chanwu is dead and Zhou Wunqiang is missing, and the mighty fist is already smelling of internal conflict. The Tang family has a rule. They always repay kindness, and Muon's payment is a treatment only they can give. The blockages in his circulation vanish. Energy surges through him. So this is the power of the Tang family. Kimon turns on his own disciple with a grin. You're next, Ryuzen. Ryuzen does not want to get out of the bath. Mirio brings Muon a parting gift from the family head. A cloak he wore in his youth and treasured. Made from dragon and bear hide, it shrugs off wind, fire and water, with pockets for days on the road. Muon accepts it. Kimon ambushes them at departure. Master Jean is too careless with his body, and a man who fights like that needs a healer nearby. The massacre at Yushi changed him. He intends to expose the Mighty Fist's misconduct and help set the world right. So he asks outright. He believes Muon can change the world, and he wants to come alone. Muon weighs it. With the family heads backing, taking them along is like gaining thousands of soldiers and horses. Decision made. The group sets out for the Heavenly Alliance. On the road, for bandit brothers eye a struggling merchant train. The four wicked bandits rob and kill for a living. They move in on the goods, and a voice stops them cold. What do you think you're doing? A small woman sits behind them and speaks calmly. Those merchants work hard and they are nice people, so do not rob them. The brothers leer and crowd in. Her answer is 2 words. You disgust me. Her blade clears its sheath. Do you all have a death wish? One brother drops before anyone sees the strike. The others scream. Where did that come from? She notices their weapons and her mood sours. They wield rings, the same as her, and it makes her want to kill them more. She carves through them without effort, unimpressed. Is everyone from the mainland this week? They are not even worth the ring of moonlight, she says, and finishes them anyway. The scene shifts to the Silent Night, where the Great Four Masters gather. The Black-Winged Spear, Yun Qianhak. The Witch of the White Knight, So Jumiang, arrives looking exactly as she did 30 years ago. Qianhak called a grand assembly and this is what came. old men and women, and no wonder the silent night rotted. But the mood turns. Rather than waiting for death in a barren land, they will step out into the world, sacrifices and all. The final decision, though, is not theirs. It belongs to him. Here comes Yeju. The Heavenly Alliance answers the Silent Knight's return by forming a military arm. The Demon Shield Troop. Membership means the power to draft warriors from any sect in the region and command them. Every ambitious fighter on the mainland wants in. Talk at the inn turns to the Blue Dragon Society. 4 of the 7 small skies have joined, and the 2 names now mean the same thing. At one table a swordsman keeps pushing a young woman. She has already said no. She is Nam Surian, the shamaness of Mount Wu, heir to a sect famous for never leaving its territory. Jua Monho keeps selling. The Blue Dragon Society takes only the best, and it does not open its doors to just anyone. Surian shuts him down. The 7 Small Skies is a name the world stuck on her, she has never even met the others. Now stop interrupting her meal. Then she spots her exit. She waves at Muon's group like old friends. Hey! Over here! I've been waiting for you. She is already at a gathering, she explains sweetly. Surian's gathering. Sorry, young Master Jua. Once he leaves, she apologizes and thanks them for playing along, promising the lie will not blow back on them. The peace lasts until a stranger knocks Kimon down and tells the old man to watch where he is going. Ryuzan detonates. You knocked my master down. Get on your knees and apologize, right now. Ryuzan will not let it go. Apologize. Right now. The man pretends to give in, then swings instead. The crowd recognizes the pair. The black and white bears, the Quan brothers. The punch lands and Ryuzan barely blinks. Did you even hit me properly? He takes their best shots on purpose, unimpressed. Is this really the best you can do? Ryuzan laughs through the blood. You're both weak as hell. He explains why. He gets beaten every day by that evil Northern Blade, so their punches feel like nothing. The name lands like a bomb. The Northern Blade, the rising star rated beside the 7 Small Skies, is sitting right there. Watchers cannot understand it. Why is he fighting the Quan brothers this recklessly? The inn starts chanting a new nickname at him. Bloodhound Warrior. Ryuzan reaches for poison and taunts them. Come at me, you scumbags. Kimon screams at him to stop as it escalates, and Muon decides it is time to step in. Muon puts himself in the middle. That's enough. Kimon tears into his disciple. He said he was fine, and using poison over a minor incident is inexcusable. With the fight over, Mirio suggests Surian travel with them to the Heavenly Alliance. The group insists. Fate brought them together, so they may as well go together, and Surian gives in. The Blue Dragon Society lands another name. Hyan Gonghui, the Manic Warrior, joins for one reason only, to face Damsuchin. The group boards the Yunma River ship on the Yangtze, one short trip from the Heavenly Alliance. Muon warns a certain someone not to start fights. On deck, Hyan Gonghui blocks Surian's path. He wants to know if the other 7 Small Skies can stand on his level. He only respects people stronger than himself, he says. If she wants respect, she can earn it. Surian tries to walk away, so he reaches for the wound. I see you're running away, just like your mother. He calls the Mount Wu sect cowards hiding behind mystery because they have nothing to show. Surian stops. She did not want to waste her time on a child, but if he wants a fight that badly, fine. Blades out, Gonghui springs his secret. His main sword technique actually uses 2 swords. Gonghui is thrilled her reputation is real. He tells her to come at him with everything, and gives her the first move. Mid-fight, her left arm trembles and fails. Is it impossible, after all? A memory surfaces. Her mother warning her that her left shoulder is finished. Born weak, worked past its limit, and if she keeps straining it she will lose the arm entirely. But she has wielded 2 swords her whole life. Surian grits through it. hang on a little longer, left arm. That bastard has to die for insulting Mount Wu and her mother. She commits everything to one exchange. Gonghui welcomes it. Come at me, shamaness of Mount Wu. Both go down bloody. Gonghui concedes what matters to him. He does not underestimate the Mount Wu sect. Zhua Munho sees two crippled members of the Seven Small Skies and smells opportunity. Kill them both and take a seat himself. A shadow steps in his way. Munho blusters about being the flying hawk swordsman of the Blue Dragon Society. Muon only asks one question. As a Blue Dragon member, is he acting in accordance with Master Dam's wishes? Afterward, Muon reads the situation. Suchin's intentions do not control who joins his society, and the two of them will meet soon enough. At the Seo Moon family home, a name lands like thunder. Dam Suchin has finished his training and come back. His story rewinds. His father is master of the Valley of No Return, the fifth to inherit the sacred light and one of the nine skies. His father's third wife, a former servant, was his mother. Growing up, he was beaten by his brothers and dismissed by his father as pathetic. His mother's last words to him, "Do not be weak like me, Suchin. You need to become strong." She burned to death in front of him, and his high and mighty father was not even there. So he became strong, and only then did his father praise him as talented, just like himself. Meeting Seo Moon Hyeryang gave him a second reason. "I'm going to become the strongest man in the world." Sacred Light inherited, he took on the 100-man challenge, facing 100 warriors in a row. The world had laughed at the novice. Then he stacked wins past 50 and they cheered him as the lone star in the blue sky. But 7 years ago he lost, and he still resents being pulled away. Hyeryang tells him the truth. Back then their enemy was stronger, and she was scared of losing him. He swears it will never happen again. Then Hyeryang asks a question that changes the air. Has he heard the rumors about the Northern Blade? The Blue Dragon Society. Dam Suchin. Seo Moon Hyeryang. A watcher turns the names over. Hyeryang, he notes, is the only person who has ever humiliated him. She asked him to join. He refused, because the world she wants is nothing like the world he wants. She wants order enforced through strict control, exactly like the Nine Skies, which is why she picked Suchin as her figurehead. One conclusion stands out. Only one warrior can oppose the Lone Star in the blue sky. On the river ship Surian thanks Muon and the Tangs for patching her up and for the trouble she caused. Then an old voice cuts in. Someone recognizes that wee little porcupine, Tang Kimen. It is Chilsong of the Manhwa sect, master of the Plum Blossom Sword, and he opens by calling Ryuzan as pathetic as his master. Ryuzan grinds his teeth and holds back. His master told him to think before acting and not let his temper win. Kimen gives it right back. He bets his one disciple could beat all four of Chilsong's without breaking a sweat. Later he tells Ryuzan the truth. Chilsong's disciples have talent and upbringing, but the desperate and hungry ones come out on top. So hold your head high. He is the disciple of the Tang family's master of 10,000 poisons. Morning brings a corpse. What on earth happened to Changwon? Chilsong's fury fills the deck. Who dares lay hands on a disciple of the Manhwa sect? Muon reads the body. A cut running from the left side clean through to the right. One stroke, and the smell of cheap liquor. Something tells him the culprit is still on this ship. He walks up to a Manhwa disciple and asks it flat. Why did you do it? The logic follows the wound. That angle, that depth, in a single strike means a left-handed swordsman, and only one man here is left-handed. Muon saw Changwon drinking on the dock last night. The liquor was strong enough to smell across the deck, and he smells it on the accused too. The trap closes. Changwon only opened his sealed bottle out on the dock. So how does the man reek of the same liquor? Manhwa breaks. He kept it hidden for 10 years, let his guard down outside the sect, and should have dumped the body in the river. Before he can be questioned, he forces his internal energy to flow backward, destroying his own heart. 2 disciples dead in a day. Chilsung's grief cracks open and his inner demon comes out. Muwon restrains him and wonders why he always ends up fighting these martial masters. Muwon will not let the ship take the damage, so he lifts the fight into the air. Chilsung is put down and his disciples watch it happen. Damn it, how humiliating. When the old man comes to, he only wants one thing. Did you find out anything? Tell me. Kimon produces his own confusion dispersion medicine, a full day's work. Applied to Myingwan's chest, it reveals a tattoo. Invisible until the right solution touches it. Sewn deep in his jacket they find the drug he took regularly to keep that tattoo hidden. The picture darkens. Myingwan joined Manhwa at 10 and never left, so he carried that mark in before he ever arrived, and Changwon must have seen it. A two-faced demon. Nobody knows a sect that uses it as a symbol. If it happened at Mount Hua, there are others planted in every prestigious sect. Chilsung begs Kimon to keep it quiet. Chilsung studies Muwon and revises his opinion. The rumors do not do the man justice, and he may well lead the world. Elsewhere, the Heavenly Alliance's inspectors sent to Yunnan were massacred, their scars pointing to the blood of 10 women technique. With the mighty fist and her father gone, Jo Woonkyung is handed the demon teen. The White Dragon merchants finally reach home. The lady of the house thanks them all, and Huang points at the real reason her son lives. Thank Jean. The reward is paid and a feast is offered, but Muwon's group cannot stay. The Heavenly Alliance will not wait. A young man watches them go and makes a vow. Once he is stronger, he will find Muwon again. Meanwhile, the Kunlun sect finds what it was hunting. The bodies of the 4 wicked bandits. Someone beat them to it, and only 3 corpses are here. One brother is missing. Countless Kunlun disciples died chasing these men. Now they hunt whoever killed them, and the survivor too. The white-haired woman who actually did it scratches her ear, unbothered. The mainland is crawling with fools. At the Seal Moon family, a memory, after the head brought down the Northern Heavenly Sect 10 years ago, he handed over the household and sealed himself away. Now he summons his son with a warning. The 9 skies will move soon. He saw the northern star still shining faintly, despite their belief the sect was annihilated. Seal Moon Hwa, the great sage, is stepping back into the world. And Muwon arrives at the gates he has been walking toward. So this is the Heavenly Alliance. Wuhan is thriving, and Muwon understands why. The Demon Shield Troop drew warriors from across the mainland, filling every inn and bar. The Alliance turned the Silent Knight's return into an economy. Suryan rejoins her own group and says goodbye. It was a short journey, but she is grateful for the company. Muwon finds a shuttered shop and gives a name and a passphrase. Dark Moonlight. The clerk stares. This man just announced himself as the Northern Blade. Inside waits a familiar face. Mei Wuryong of the Sichuan branch, now managing Hubei. She lays out the con. The Demon Shield Troop's executive seats are already reserved for the 9 great sects and 5 great families. The rest of the young warriors are there to stir up the public, or to serve as human shields on the battlefield. Muwon states his business. He is looking for So Musang, dispatched to the Northern Heavenly Sect 10 years ago and returned to the Alliance. She offers more. Yun Chanhua of the Protectors of the Heavy Sword is coming to the Heavenly Alliance, a man who helped drive the 4 Pillars' betrayal. Once he leaves, Wuryong weighs him coldly. Jin Muwon is a double-edged sword. Poison, or an excellent blade, depending on how she uses him. At the tower, an old woman he never sensed approach holds out a bottle. Care for a drink, young man? The old woman repeats the offer. Care for a drink, young man? She complains that young warriors only care about the Demon Shield Troop and never stop to contemplate a view like this. Muwon drinks. She grins. No need to be greedy in life. Good liquor and a great view is all you really need. He empties it fast, saying he had to drink extra for someone he knows. She asks why he has not asked who she is. She sees straight through him. She can sense his vigorous spirit and his thirst for revenge. Her advice is a warning. Give in to your temper every time and things will not end well. Learn to yield to the world once in a while. She leaves and Muwon is rattled. He barely caught her internal energy moving. She is a martial master on another level entirely. The mood breaks when the Blue Dragon Society arrives. Where's that wench, Nam Suryan? And who the hell are you? Hyan Gonghui, still wrecked, wants payback. That damn shamaness of Mount Wu did this to him before he could reach Dam Suchin. Nangdong Iljam of the Five Great Families joins in, boasting he could take on the Seven Small Skies if he tried. The first man who swings gets flattened instantly, so they change plans. 5 against 1 should take down even the Northern Blade. It does not. Muwon puts every one of them on the floor. Muwon cannot believe how stupid they are and keeps dismantling them. They flinch from a killing blow that never comes. He was only sheathing his sword. He explains the mercy. Killing in Wuhan is punishable by death, especially with the Heavenly Alliance next door. Then the warning. Talk about this and make it bigger than it needs to be, and he will kill every last one of them. Back at the residence he reports the encounter, and the strategist listens. He met a martial master whose internal energy even he could not detect. The read is grim. This is only the beginning, and more masters will come, because the war has started and they are standing in enemy territory. But there is work to do. Get ready. There is a place they have to stop by. At the Alliance's General Affairs Department, Chilsung is shown in to see the man who runs its internal affairs. Minister Quan Daesung, one of the Nine Skies, handles every internal affair of the Alliance, which makes him the most influential man in the world. Chilsung lays it out. Warriors bearing the two-faced demon tattoo are hidden in every sect, not just Manhwa. He asks officially for help. Quan will not decide alone, he will consult the Nine Skies first. Meanwhile, the strategist calls in an old friend and asks for a strategic map of Hubei, a floor plan of the Heavenly Alliance, and the key figures behind the Northern Heavenly Sect's fall. The deluxe assassins take contracts for money, and money just walked in. The client names the target. The Northern Blade. The map hunt lands in a bookstore whose family has hoarded old books for generations, over 10,000 of them. Asked what he wants with all this, the strategist answers simply. He is trying to keep a closer eye on the world. Then Ha Jinweil drops the reveal on his old friend. The Northern Blade everyone is talking about is the man standing right next to him. The pieces click. Maps of the Alliance, and the names behind what happened 10 years ago. Jinweil makes his pitch. They spent their youth studying until their noses bled, they should at least do something in the real world before they die. Far off in Chang'an, the white-haired woman eats lamb hot pot and admits it stirs faint memories from a past she cannot place. The fourth bandit finds her. How can she stuff her face after slaughtering his brothers? Her reply is ice. What makes his brothers' lives so precious when he never valued anyone else's? Then the Kunlun sect crashes in, demanding she surrender in their name. A merchant throws himself in front of her and takes the hit meant for nobody. You shouldn't have stepped in front of me. The bandit lunges to kill and she answers with the ring of moonlight. The Kunlun disciples finally understand the headless corpses on their table. White hair, silver rings, and a chilling energy. This is the Silent Knight's infamous Witch of the White Knight. The wounded man grins up at her, and she thanks him quietly for everything. The Kunlun sect brands her aloud. Witch of the White Knight. She only repeats the word back. Witch. She dismantles their righteousness. If fighting to survive makes someone evil, then nobody in this world is good, and who wrote their process anyway? She decides how this ends. She is the master of the White Knight. Elsewhere, in a strangely quiet inn, Muwon pours a last drink before they achieve their goals. Jinweil recalls their first drink together, and what Muwon said. If it is revenge he wants, he will become revenge itself. The toast dies mid-sentence. An ambush. Muwon counts them. 30 inside, more than 40 closing from below and outside. Around 80 in total, and his omnidirectional sense never caught them coming. Getting out alive means killing, so the Alliance's laws can wait. Stay behind me at all times. Muwon tells the scholar to stay behind him at all times. The inn is already surrounded. The first assassin lunges. Muwon's blade answers before the man can finish the swing. The killers realize how fast he is. One mutters that the big payment finally makes sense. They talk themselves back into confidence. He is one man, and he has deadweight to protect, so they call him handicapped. An assassin shoves his own comrade aside, snarling that he will kill Muwon himself. He does not last long. They see an opening and scream for everyone to pile on him at once. It is the last plan most of them ever make. Ha-Jin Wheel watches from behind and grimaces. Muwon cannot unleash his full power because of him. The scholar admits he needs terrain or tools to prepare an illusion attack, and there is no time. Only Seo Manhwa of the Seo Moon family can do it cold. Muwon breathes out. There sure are a lot of them, and fighting in a confined space while protecting someone is not easy. He calculates and holds back. One full strike here would bring the whole inn down, and more assassins are waiting outside. The scholar takes a stab wound and waves it off as small. Muwon pulls him away from the wall. The scholar tells Muwon to stop worrying about his safety and wipe them all out at once. Muwon says he is probably right. Then the assassins start dying from behind. Unknown men tear into their flanks and nobody knows where they came from. A stranger kneels and apologizes for the delay. It took time to shake the agents off his tail. Then he says the word that changes everything. Master. The assassins scream that it is an ambush as the newcomers cut them down from the rear. The man steps forward and bows. He calls Jin Muwon master. Muwon recognizes him at once. Warrior So, who last saw him as a boy, says he has become a fine young man. So Musang admits he has been hunting for Muwon through the Black Moon all this time. He explains why he stayed away. He leads a small intelligence agency inside the Heavenly Alliance called the Close Chase Sect, and too many eyes are on him. Muwon waves off the apology. Musang says he is grateful Muwon saved him from his internal demon and gave him enlightenment. Introductions. Ha-Jin Wheel, the scholar with 3 brains, meets warrior So Musang. The scholar cuts straight to it. Can those subordinates of yours be trusted? Musang does not hesitate. They can be trusted. He takes over the fight and tells Muwon to run. The assassins outside are already dead. Left alone with the killers, Musang's voice drops. How dare you attack my master when I am right here? Chang'an crashes in out of nowhere, out of breath, yelling for them to wait. The real problem lands. The Heavenly Alliance's external warriors are already on their way, alerted the moment the ambush began. The scholar sees the trap. Whoever hired the assassins is weaponizing the Alliance's law against killing. If Muwon does not resist, they will drag him to the Alliance prison for mass murder. The scholar smirks, because that works out perfectly. Alone at last, Muwon relaxes. The location is optimal and he no longer has to guard anyone, so he can finally focus. He does not bother asking who sent them. He just draws and says let's get this over with. The remaining assassins break. They cannot believe what they are seeing. The Northern Blade, one of them realizes, is an even bigger monster than the rumors claimed. The math sinks in. 80 at the inn, 27 more dispatched here, and he killed them all and came to wait. One of them names it out loud. He must be a demon who wields a sword. A last suicidal charge. Die, Northern Blade. The delusive assassins are wiped out. The survivor moans that they should have killed Jua Munho when they had the chance. A dying man begs for mercy and spits out the name. Jua Munho was the one who hired them. Muwon has his answer. He says he should have sliced that man's tongue off the last time they met. The Alliance warriors arrive shouting that nobody kills without permission here. They order him to surrender. He surrenders on the spot, without a fight. They are stunned it was that easy. They try to confiscate his sword. The moment one touches it, he is shaking so hard he cannot let go. Muwon promises he has no intention of using his sword on them, and will not draw it in prison either. Word reaches warrior so. The man he was meant to guard killed the reinforcements and then let himself be taken away. Musang understands instantly. His master let the alliance take him on purpose, and it is all part of the plan. A memory. Years ago at the Western Stronghold, a warden condemned 2 starving beggar boys to rot in a cell. Musang slipped them food. He tells them to take it before he gets whipped for it. He explains why. They remind him of the men he failed to protect as vice captain of the external team. His advice is brutal and honest. Even if you live in the dirt as slaves, get on his good side and survive. They survived, then searched for him for half a year and swore to serve him. That was the birth of the Close Chase sect. Elder Tang erupts. Muwon has been imprisoned, and he demands to know what that means. The assassins struck first, he snaps. Was Muwon supposed to just let them kill him? Chang'an tells him to calm down, that it worked out for the best. Tang cannot see how this is good news. The fear is exposure. If the truth about Muwon comes out now, the alliance will crush everything he holds dear. The scholar lays out the board. No group in the history of Murim has held the power the Heavenly Alliance holds. The alliance is no longer a coalition keeping the world safe. It rules the world, and nobody finds that strange. But Muwon can justify himself with revenge, and he is the only man alive who can challenge the rulers of the world. So they chose this. He and the scholar decided to step into the vortex of fate themselves. The law enforcement agency will intervene, the 9 skies may stir, and the 4 pillars may be dragged in. The scholar smiles. That is exactly what they are hoping will happen. Chang'an gets his orders. Help Master Jin, by command of the Master of the Black Moon. Myong Ryusan hears the news and volunteers to lead a jailbreak on the Heavenly Alliance himself. Nobody takes him up on it. At the Seo Moon family residence, word arrives that the Northern Blade is locked in the Alliance's prison. Seo Moon Hai Ryan needs to see it herself. She must confirm with her own eyes that he is Jin Muwon. In Shanxi, Dam Sucheon confronts a band of raiders and asks if they belong to the Silent Knight. He tells them the world should be uniting against the Silent Knight, not preying on villagers, and sentences them on the spot. The villagers chant his name. Their hero, Dam Sucheon. A letter from Seo Moon Hyrion reaches him. The Northern Blade has been imprisoned. He turns for the road. He will have to return to the Heavenly Alliance immediately. Chang'an is out in the wilds burying mysterious rocks for reasons nobody explained to him. He reminds himself he is Chang'an, top agent of the secret Moon Sky Team. Which raises the obvious question of what on earth he is doing out here. The crew wraps up the area and plans to move on tomorrow. Whatever the scholar is building, it is spreading. Someone notices Chang'an is off. He looks down, and that is not like him. He finally says it. That guy might be strong, but will he really be alright? He gets mocked for it. Since when does Chang'an worry about Muwon? He snaps back that they trusted Muwon's strength too much, and admits he has never once seen the man training. The reply is a question. Do you know what kind of life Muwon has lived? Every day of his life was hell from childhood. The torture itself was training, and he survived it. Then 7 years alone in the mountains, mastering his fighting techniques with no one watching. The idea that he was lucky to be born into a prestigious family is nonsense. Given the choice, he would have taken an ordinary life with nothing. As for never seeing him train, the answer is simple. Every real battle he has fought has been his training. Muwon is training every moment of his life, even now in that cell. That is what makes him scary. The older man marvels that Chang'an still does not know Muwon is the descendant of the Northern Heavenly Sect. He decides to keep it that way. It is probably best the boy does not know. So he redirects him. Stop worrying about Muwon and go get stronger, because that is how you help. Seo Moon Hyrion finds the scholar with 3 brains at her gate, and she thought he was in Yunnan. He greets her warmly and mentions the demon she planted inside his head 5 years ago, which he has now overcome. He jokes that it was a challenging task and he thought his brain had melted completely. He explains why he is here. His companion has been imprisoned. Her inner voice is flat and cold. Ha Jin-wheel is the man she is most wary of in this world. 5 years ago, at Scholar Seokti's 60th birthday, she met him and could not contain her shock. She could not beat him with her own ability, so she used her grandfather's formula, the whole knowledge of the Seo-moon family. The memory hurts because she was desperate. She thought she was an outstanding genius. Then came the truth, and her grandfather saw it too. She had reached her limit. She was not the genius he was looking for. The genius he sought may have been this man, Ha Jin-wheel. And now a man like that is working with Jin Moo-won. She gives one order. Gather the Blue Dragon Society, every last member. In the cell, Moo-won asks the scholar if he is that happy to see him behind bars. Preparations are going smoothly. All Moo-won has to do is build his strength for the fight ahead. Tang Soso sneaks in with food, because he has not eaten a single meal. Moo-won says it plainly. His heart already belongs to another woman. She takes it without flinching. She already knew that. He eats and thanks her. It is delicious. Then a visitor. Jiam Ju-sang, head of the law enforcement agency. He came off duty and late at night because he has a bad feeling, and he wants nothing but the truth. One question. Who exactly are you, Northern Blade? Elsewhere, a beaten assassin points at a man and names him. That is the one who hired us. The scholar asks it straight. Jua Moonho, did you order the delusive assassins to kill the Northern Blade? Jua Moonho refuses to confess, and the scholar says he was hoping for that. He tells a story. He once let people torture him for 8 months and 9 days to keep a secret, and never broke. The Blue Dragon Society holds an official gathering, and every seat is filled. One name is missing. Young Master Jua has not been seen in weeks. Seo-moon Hyrion takes the floor and gets straight to the point. Everyone knows the rising star called the Northern Blade, and everyone knows he massacred dozens inside Alliance territory. She notes the detail that gives it away. An anonymous report landed the moment the massacre began, so the person behind it was thorough. Then the bomb. The Northern Blade is Jin Moo-won, 5th generation leader of the Northern Heavenly Sect, who everyone thought was dead. She is not telling them to spread rumors. She is warning them to stay away from that man. Because the Silent Knight is slowly resurfacing in the world. That is why the Demon Shield Troop is recruiting, and its captain and executives must all come from the Blue Dragon Society. The complication is that the Tang family has publicly backed the Northern Blade, and other sects likely have too. Her verdict. Jin Moo-won will stand in the way of the society's ascent, so do not get involved with him no matter what. Then Dam Su-cheon walks in, back from cleaning out the bandits of Junzhou. He leads the Blue Dragon Society. The room reacts to his presence alone. His vigor is astounding. Myung Ryusan admits he only joined to face Dam Su-cheon, the Lone Star in the blue sky. And he feels it. This man is just as powerful as the Northern Blade. At the key leaders meeting, the elders are furious that Jin Moo-won surfaced right before the Demon Shield Troop recruitment. The Nampong family demands blood. The sect was wiped out as an enemy of the world, so the descendant should share its fate. Tang Kimon pushes back. Jin Kwanho already paid with his life, so why punish his son? The report claimed innocent victims, but the Northern Blade says dozens of assassins came for him. Manhwa, the Gongdong sect and Mount Wu all side with the Tang family. The chamber splits. Jiam Ju-sang sees the real problem. From inside a prison cell, this boy is already shaking the Heavenly Alliance to its core. A solution is proposed. Hold the trial in public, right at the Demon Shield Troop recruitment. Jiam handles the massacre charge, and someone else will handle the charge of being the sect's descendant. The someone else arrives. Yun Cheonhwa, the Ghost Blade. Dam Su-cheon met Jin Moo-won once as a boy, and he can tell he is not the type to massacre innocents. He wants a rematch as a warrior, fair and square, somewhere he can show the man respect. Then a voice in the cell. Wow, Moo-won. Is that really you? A stranger stands in the cell smiling. Wow, Muon, is that really you? Muon's answer is a blade. The stranger barely catches it. He apologizes without meaning it. He was just that happy to see him. Long time no see, Woonkyung. Jo Woonkyung showed him more kindness than anyone back in the barren north. Woonkyung says he never saw it coming, that the boy he knew is the Northern Blade. He is not here by choice. They used the demon shield troop as an excuse to take him hostage, and his father is dead anyway. He apologizes for not helping when sect leader Jin and the Northern Heavenly Sect fell. He was powerless. He offers to break Muon out. Muon answers that his father was not killed by the Silent Knight. Then the confession. I killed him. Jo Cheon-woo, the demon fist of the four pillars. Your father. Woon-kyung laughs. He knew the Silent Knight could not have done it. Muon stares. What kind of reaction is that, when you do not look sad in the slightest? The answer is ugly. His father never once acknowledged him, and beat him whenever he was angry. So he calls it even. He stood by while sect leader Jin died, and now Muon has killed his father. Muon gets to the real charge. You used the blood of 10 women technique because your father would not praise you. Woon-kyung is genuinely startled that Muon knows about that at all. Muon names him for what he is. You demon. The Jo Woon-kyung he knew was polite, warm, and never treated anyone badly. He wonders if all of it was a lie. Woon-kyung shrugs it off. Everyone acts for personal gain, everyone is two-faced, that is just nature. Muon calls it what it is, an excuse to justify vile behavior, from a weak bastard. Woon-kyung came to check if he really was the Northern Blade, and to propose they work together. The answer is obvious. Muon makes a promise instead. You will die by my blade one day, Jo Woon-kyung. Mark my words. The guards spot him and shout that an intruder is escaping. Away and clear, Woon-kyung flexes his hand. He almost lost it back there. His only regret is business. It is a shame he could not bring Jin Muon over to his side. Demon Shield Troop Recruitment Day. To apply, you need 3 renowned recommendations or acknowledged accomplishments. The crowd detonates. Those conditions were never mentioned before. Their point is fair. They came to the Demon Shield Troop to achieve things, so where were they supposed to earn accomplishments first? Dan Wukong seizes the crowd. Right now the son of an infamous traitor is inside this fortress. He works them. The Alliance spared the boy out of generosity, and the moment he reappeared, so did the Silent Knight. So instead of an opening address, there will be a public trial, and attending as a witness counts as a contribution. Backstage, the speaker notes he got the desired reaction immediately, just by doing as instructed. Minister Kwon reveals the source. Those instructions come from the Nine Skies seal Manhwa himself. The gates open and the crowd floods in. There is a high volume of applicants. The Iron Sect arrives to find the place swarming, and wonders why Jin got caught at a moment this noisy. Vice Captain Chai Yakran disagrees with the whole premise. He exposed his identity on purpose. And he has Ha Jin wheel beside him, so it is possible he planned all of this from the start. Still, one worry lingers. He may have bared his teeth too soon. Shimwoni reports that the men tailing the scholar with 3 brains have lost him. Worse, they were chasing the wrong man the whole time. He has a helper. Shim suggests just killing the scholar quietly in secret. Hairyeon shoots it down. He is not the type to plan this without foresight, and his plan survives his death. Dam Sucheon arrives and vetoes the whole idea. Let's not resort to such petty tactics. He asks if that is all the Blue Dragon Society is capable of. They should fight him fair and square. Bodyguard Huang sees who is being let out and nearly falls over. Muon? The escort warns Muon that the hearing is about to start and ignorant fools have riled up the warriors. Then he says it out loud, twice, like a title. Sect Leader Jin. Backstage the speaker is still editing his own script. That sentence sounds too passive. The speaker objects that the prisoner is untied and unescorted. He demands to know why. Jiam Jusang refuses to take the sword. The crimes are unproven, and the man is the current leader of the Northern Heavenly Sect. So show some respect, he tells the sharp-tongued speaker, who cannot believe what he just heard. Jiam watches him walk out and wonders whether children are destined to repeat their parents' history. His private hope is simple. Overcome this hardship, young leader of the Northern Heavenly Sect. Nam Seonwoo takes the stage as host of the Demon Shield Troop's big event. He works the crowd on the silent night, and says the fate of the world depends on winning this war. The Demon Shield Troop will fight at the front lines, and the Alliance will give them power, authority, and medicine. Then the pivot. Instead of an opening speech, there will be a public hearing. He presents the subject of the day. The convict, Jin Muon, the Northern Blade. History repeats, he says. The father colluded with the Silent Knight, and now the traitor's son has murdered innocent warriors. The crowd turns into a mob. Punish the traitor's son. He really is just like his father. Muon stands in the storm and thinks of his father. His father gave everything to protect the mainland, and this is the hostility he got from the people he protected. The speaker jeers at him to speak. The convict will state his name and identity. Muon realizes he must walk through the exact thing his father faced 10 years ago. The speaker laughs that he hesitates because he knows he is guilty. Muon answers, I am the son of Jin Kwanho, the Great Wall who protected the North, as well as the 5th generation leader of the Northern Heavenly Sect. I am Jin Muon, the Northern Blade. The grounds go silent. The words are still ringing. The Great Wall who protected the North, and the 5th generation leader of the Northern Heavenly Sect. I am Jin Muon, the Northern Blade. The scholar is stunned. Muon has never once shown his emotions like that. He remembers a man stronger than anyone he had met, and humble with it. Humble and reserved, and at last he has spoken. Others recall the same man being told to calm down because there were people watching. Captain Young grins. That gloomy bastard is finally yelling out his true name with his head held high. He stayed calm even when he found his ailing uncle, the man he valued above his own life. And look at him now. The read is simple. He must have been holding his anger in his entire life. The crowd catches up. The Northern Blade is the descendant of the Northern Heavenly Sect. Myung Ryusan is losing his mind that he has been traveling with this man. Tang Soso tells him it is not the time. The hearing opens with the first of 2 charges, the massacre of warriors on Alliance territory. Jiam Jusang pledges to enforce the law fairly, without an ounce of bias. He asks if Muon killed the warriors at the inn in Wuhan. Muon admits it. But he denies they were innocent. They were guild-trained professionals who all rushed him at once. Then the trap closes. Do you have any evidence to back up your claim? Words alone will not cover that many bodies. Do you have proof of your innocence, sect leader Jin? Before Muon can answer, a voice cuts through the grounds. I have the evidence. In flashback, the scholar is delighted. He was going to ask for help, and Warrior So had already prepared everything. Jiam recalls the anonymous note telling him to be sure to ask for proof on the day of the hearing. The man announces himself. So Musang of the Close Chase sect, with key evidence that will prove Jin Muon's innocence. He presents 2 men, the one who hired the delusive assassins and one of the assassins who took the job. The assassin confesses, trembling, that he was hired to kill the Northern Blade. The second man gives his name. Jua Munho of the 3-Ring Sword sect, and a member of the Blue Dragon Society. He confesses he paid the delusive assassins a large sum over a personal grudge. In the stands, the Blue Dragon Society realizes exactly what just happened. We are doomed. Muon looks at the man who just saved him and asks who he is. The Alliance knows him. So Musang, vice captain of the 3rd external team stationed at the Northern Heavenly Sect 7 years ago. The pieces land for Seo Moon Hyryong. He was one of Jin Muon's people all along. Her fury turns inward on Jua Munho. She sent him to recruit talent, and this is what he did. she names her own failure. She overestimated them, and was too complacent and too negligent. Damage control. Dispose of every Blue Dragon Society record concerning Jwa Moonho. And every member is to keep quiet. From now on, that man has nothing to do with them. But she knows the fire is not out. An investigation will eventually tie Jwa Moonho to the society. She sees the design. Using Jwa Moonho as a stepping stone to make the Blue Dragon Society falter. Her question lands across the grounds. Isn't that right, scholar with 3 brains? She even applauds him. She must acknowledge his abilities once more. But she refuses to take it sitting down, and tells him to look forward to her masterpiece. The scholar answers in kind. It is too early to praise him, because there is more to come. Jiam rules on the first charge. The confessions prove self-defense, and Jin Muwon is innocent of the massacre. He orders the enforcers to lock the 2 confessors up immediately. He asks Musang why he brought them, and Musang says Jwa Moonho hired a guild to kill his master. Jiam warns him. Your master. Are you aware of the weight of those words right now? Musang understands the weight better than anyone, and knows this will not be an easy path. In flashback he tells his men the truth. He serves a man the world calls the son of a traitor. So he thanks them for following him and wishes them luck. He is releasing them. They refuse outright. How could he say something like that, after the promise they made? If that man is your master, he is our master too, and we will follow you whether we live or die. Musang gives in. Alright, then. Get those bastards ready. Back in the present he kneels. Now that you have announced your true identity, I will introduce myself as your warrior, master. The Intelligence Board's chief administrator is apoplectic. His own close chase sect leader stabbed them in the back. The verdict stands. Jin Muwon is innocent of the massacre. But the second charge remains, that he is the son of the traitor who colluded with the Silent Knight. Muwon refuses the charge. His father never once colluded with the Silent Knight. His father lived with dignity and never backed down, even falsely accused. He tells the speaker to watch his mouth. The Northern Heavenly Sect protected the mainland for generations and refused to abandon the cursed land. They bled for a century so the rest could live in peace and abundance while fighting each other for power. The alliance made up a lie, he says, and the 4 pillars did not prove anything. They just betrayed us. Then a laugh from the stands. I enjoyed your boisterous introduction and eloquent speech, little one. Yun Cheonhua has arrived. The crowd recognizes him. A former pillar of the Northern Heavenly Sect and current leader of the Protectors of the Heavy Sword. They say his gaze, his movements, his smallest actions all translate into sword techniques. His body is no different from a legendary blade itself, and that man has just appeared. The speaker frames it perfectly. A living witness of the sect's history, with the authority to question its descendant. Yun opens warm. Good to see you, little one, so why did you never come visit? Muwon matches him. He has been a bit busy, Uncle Yun. Yun says he would have treated him to a warm meal. Muwon says he did not want to risk his life for one. A few words between them and the air itself feels as sharp as a blade. Yun poses the question as absurd. The Alliance and the 4 pillars conspired to bring down the sect? Muwon answers that hearing that from a traitor he has not seen in 10 years enrages him beyond words. Yun's story is that he respected sect leader Jin more than anyone, and despaired when he learned of the collusion. So now the son repeats the father's mistakes, and the blood in his veins is a traitor's. His offer. Discard your fighting techniques and go back to the north to live in peace. Muwon asks at once, plainly. Uncle Yun. Did my father really collude with the Silent Knight? Look me in the eyes and answer me, Yun Cheonhua. Then the accusation. You joined forces with Zhou Cheonwu to lead the destruction of the Northern Heavenly Sect. Yun calls it utter nonsense. A new voice cuts in. Muwon is right, and you have used your hand to cover the sky for long enough. The man on Ryusan's back is the former leader of the Secret Origins sect, keeper of the sect's documents and secrets. Dong Hapyang is alive, and the crowd cannot understand how. He greets his killer. You convinced me to betray the sect, then crippled me and tossed me aside. 10 years ago, someone handed him a document accusing Jin Quanho of colluding with the Silent Knight. And the handwriting on that document was Yun Xionhua's. Yun told him to report it to the Alliance and publicize it, and promised him wealth and a prestigious position. Anyone from the sect should have known sect leader Jin was not that kind of man. But a small desire for a warm and abundant life grew uncontrollably big, because of Yun Xionhua. One fabricated document in 4 powerful pillars ended 100 years of history all too easily. Then Yun destroyed the documents and dozens of Secret Origins members, including Dong Hapyang himself. He begged for his life and swore to take the secret to his grave. It did not matter. Yun laughs it off as quite the story, invented to defame him. Every document was burned that day, and he ended Dong Hapyang's life with his own hands. Dong asks the question back. Do you know how I became leader of the Secret Origins sect? Only sect leader Jin knew. He has a very special ability, and he remembers the document word for word. He will do his part before he dies, just as he was told, and begin atoning for his sins. Yun does not let him finish. He strikes him down in front of the entire Heavenly Alliance. Yun covers it as punishment for their impudence. But he has already proven the truth himself. The crowd saw it. Yun Xionhua reacted to a provocation, which means Jin Muon and Dong Hapyang may be telling the truth. If it is true, then Jin Quanho died a wrongful death. The whisper spreads. The 4 pillars betrayed their own sect. Muon looks at the scholar. He had been hunting the sect's directory of names. And he tracked down Dong Hapyang, hiding behind the dark side of the truth. Muon asks if he did all of it for this moment. The scholar says there are countless signs before a major incident. Bringing in Yun Xionhua was the Alliance's best way to prove Muon's lineage, and it walked straight into the trap. They were lucky Dong Hapyang felt remorse. Without his cooperation, everything would have been in vain. The scholar releases him. Now that the stage has been set, go on and fight to your heart's content. Chong'an pokes the obvious hole. What if Jin Muon and Yun Xionhua actually fight? Are you certain he will survive? No. Are you certain he will win? In the stands, the Alliance reads it as damage. Yun Xionhua has proven his own guilt. So there is nothing left for him to do but kill Jin Muon without further questions. The public's suspicions can be handled later, by diverting them with a bigger incident. And if Muon wins, he removes one of the 4 pillars, which suits them fine either way. One thing bothers Minister Quan more than anything. There is definitely a strategist helping Jin Muon from the shadows. Yun dismisses the whole thing as a ruse and insists he was only punishing deceit. But he was a hero for decades, and he assumed the public would follow him blindly no matter what. What he just did was clearly an attempt to silence Dong Hapyang once and for all. Jiam sees the full design. Muon told the world his father was falsely accused, and that is why he let himself get caught. Yun makes his choice. If anything he says will sound like an excuse, he might as well kill the ones who will cause trouble later. He casts himself as the hero who stopped Jin Quanho from handing the mainland to the Silent Knight. As a self-declared executioner, he sentences Jin Muon, the son of a traitor, to death. Muon sends a telepathic message. Warrior So, gather everyone and take cover beneath the training grounds. Then he confirms it. He must put an end to this once and for all. He answers with a title. I, Jin Muon, the 5th generation leader of the Northern Heavenly Sect, will now punish the true traitor. Yun laughs. The boy never mastered any techniques, and no secret techniques were left in the ruins. Muon asks why he is so sure, since Yun is the one who took all the sect's sword materials. His father told him that in swordsmanship, Yun was a cut above him, and more devoted to the sword than anyone. To Yun, the sect was never a fence for protection but a cage that stopped him spreading his wings. Then Muon unleashes it. The blade of darkness and destruction. Yun reels. There should be no secret techniques left in the ruins, so where did that attack come from? Muon tells him he is wrong. I am the secret technique, as well as the Northern Heavenly Sect itself. The line hangs in the air. I am the secret technique, as well as the Northern Heavenly Sect itself. Yun cannot place it. Where did that powerful sword attack come from? All of the Northern Heavenly Sect's sword techniques were supposed to be gone. Muon lists the theft. Zhou Qianwu took the hand techniques. Kyung Musang took the foot techniques, and Jie Hyokshim took the strength and energy techniques. And the sword techniques, every last one, were taken by Yun Qianhua. Muon saw it all with his own eyes as a boy. Yun demands to know where he learned it, and accuses him of colluding with the Silent Knight. The answer is the sect itself. The secret technique holding its true essence was etched into the sect. Yun refuses it. There is not a single thing about the Northern Heavenly Sect he does not know. A memory. Jin Quanho always climbed to the top of the tower and spent his days looking down at the sect. Because the Northern Heavenly Sect itself contained the secret fighting technique. And the old wound surfaces. Why are you the 4th generation leader, and not me? Yun accepts the truth. The last secret technique should have been his, and it was passed to Muon instead. The blades meet, and the training grounds start to come apart. Every swing sends layers of intense pressure crashing down on Muon. The technique devours internal energy. Without an endless supply it could not be unleashed at all. It is a sword technique that exists solely for Yun Qianhua. Only he can use it. The Ghost Blade. The Infinite Heavenly Blade. Muon does not retreat. All right. Give me everything you have got, Yun Qianhua. Yun watches it and understands. This is the true legacy of the Northern Heavenly Sect. He laughs at himself. He missed the forest for the trees. So he invites it. Keep dodging, jabbing, slashing, and unleashing your sword energy, Muon. It may be 10 years late, but he will seize the sect's true secret technique and make it his. Muon's blade lands, and Yun feels it go in. The cold blade cuts through his tough skin and into hot flesh, and it feels chilly. He smells the metallic scent of his own blood. And it delights him. How long has it been since he felt this happy? He has always been disappointed by how comfortable the 9 skies got in this era of peace. And now he sees he has gone soft in exactly the same way. Then he places it. You are the one who killed the demon fist, Zhou Qianwu. And now it is his turn. He gives the boy his due. No wonder you are called the Northern Blade. You are worthy of the name. So he stops holding back. Fight half-heartedly and he ends up like Qianwu. Muon reads it instantly. He is going to start fighting with his full strength now. Yun unleashes an illuminating sword explosion and the grounds vanish in light. Muon takes the hit and is driven through the wreckage. Yun marvels. He is like a shadow, and he should not be moving that fast while injured. The admission is genuine. A young man like you is making me use my full strength. He speaks to a dead man. Sect leader Jin, no, Quanho. Are you watching this? He expected Muon to die alone in the Deadlands of the North. Instead he became a master, holding his own in a bloody duel, and Yun, who can have no children, is jealous. So he will keep struggling until the very end. Wouldn't you agree, Quanho? And he calls it Last Sword. Yun's last sword comes down on the ruined training grounds. The impact goes off like a bomb. Muon answers with the spirit of the shooting star. The two techniques collide and the ground itself rumbles apart. Yun cannot believe it. His sword is dark crimson steel, the heaviest metal in the world, and Muon cracked it. For the first time, he curses. Muon drives forward through the dust. The ghost blade answers one more time. The clash detonates across the grounds. When the smoke clears, Yun is coughing and Muon is barely standing. Yun limps closer. He is impressed, and says Muon should be proud of holding his own against the master of the sword. Muon mumbles something. Yun asks if those are his last words. Muwon says it again. Come closer. Then he unleashes his own last sword, point blank. Yun takes it full and snarls. You little. The old man drags himself back up. You sure are stubborn. Both men are wrecked and coughing, and neither one will fall. Yun asks the name of the sword attack, and admits the weak little boy is gone. The blade of darkness and destruction. Yun laughs that he gathered the wrong sword techniques before he left. He cannot become the trunk of the tree, no matter how full his branches are. Muwon asks the only question that matters. What made you betray my father and abandon the sect? The answer is small and honest. I just wanted to become stronger. The more he pursued power, the less satisfied he was as one of the four pillars. The acknowledgement he got fed the flames, and pure devotion turned into ugly obsession and greed. Jin Kwanho wanted peace in the world. Jo Cheonwoo wanted the nine skies power, and the other pillars had their own desires. Yun wanted to be stronger than all of them and make the world bow at his feet. Then he turns it on Muwon. You are already walking down the path of endless bloodshed. Muwon refuses the excuse. You were a pillar I looked up to, but do not justify this. He is a cowardly traitor who chased power by any means because he could not overcome his own greed. Yun is done. Just kill me now. But as the blade goes in, he grabs Muwon's arm. One last secret. Something mysterious exists within murim, and Yun thinks Jin Kwanho knew about it. They only learned of it after leaving the north, and the pillars were not just betraying the sect. There was more to it. His dying request. Uncover the truth and set things right in the world. The alliance is shaken. Yun Cheonhwa was a pillar, and Jin Muwon beat him. It gives them chills to imagine how much stronger the Northern Blade will be in a few years. Then bureaucracy arrives. Someone has to pay a hefty fine for the destroyed training grounds. The Tang family volunteers to pay the full sum immediately. The Gongdong sect pitches in, then Mount Hua, then Mount Wu. The problem evaporates. Muwon presses his case. Self-defense is proven, and Yun's own behavior proved his father did not collude. So he asks it. Is it still a crime to be the descendant of the Northern Heavenly Sect? Since his innocence is proven, his presence at the Heavenly Alliance should not be a problem. Nobody answers. Seo Moon Hairyang is rattled. Jin Muwon has become more of a monster than she imagined. If he keeps growing, he may rise to the level of the Nine Skies, and that is bad. Damn Sucheon is the opposite. He knew it, and that is the descendant of the sect he has always admired. He is going out of his mind wanting to face the man who beat one of the four pillars. Jo Woonkyung watches it coldly. Now he has an idea of how his own father was defeated. Chang'an grumbles that Muwon really did inherit sect leader Jin's blood, and that he hates people born with talent. Warrior so brings the sheath. Muwon thanks him. Myung Ryusan is still processing that his companion was the fifth-generation leader all along, and reports Dong Hapyang is in bad shape. Yun's last words follow him out. You are already walking down the path of endless bloodshed. Muwon turns the phrase over. The path of endless bloodshed. Murim has only produced a handful of warriors who left a mark this deep, and the whole world agrees Jin Muwon is now one of them. In every tea house and street corner, warriors argue the same question: was the Northern Heavenly Sect shut down over a lie told by its own four pillars? The crowd remembers Jin Kwanho differently now. He died without making a single excuse, and they say he did it to protect his son. The Demon Shield troop recruitment goes ahead on a stage thrown together overnight, but nobody is really watching it anymore. Far away, the dying Dong Hapyang remembers the night 10 years ago when he was waiting to die and a stranger saved him. The voice told him a traitor played by a snake deserves death, and that he would only be kept alive in case he ever became useful. On his deathbed he confesses everything. Yun Cheonhwa joined hands with the Heavenly Alliance and sold the Northern Heavenly Sect out. Then the decisive document is unrolled at last, and the page is completely blank. The truth comes out. The whole gamble was a forgery answering a forgery, staked on Muwon's life. Overnight Jin Muon becomes a legend. There is not a single warrior left who has not heard the name Northern Blade. Back at the manor, Myong Ryusan swaggers and beaten to a pulp, insisting the punches he took were not worth dodging. Muon wakes to good news. Public opinion has flipped completely, and no one can attack him for his bloodline anymore. Then an unexpected guest arrives. Minister Kwon Daesung of the Heavenly Alliance introduces himself with a smile. He delivers the verdict himself. No disciplinary action against Muon, but the sect's destruction stays an open, unfinished case. The moment he is out the door, the smile drops. The Northern Blade makes him uneasy, and he goes straight to his master. Deep in the dark, a ruined figure gasps out a question. A new body has been prepared for him? The answer comes cold. Once the ritual is finished, they march on the mainland. The tower with 9 roofs is where the 9 skies sit above the Heavenly Alliance and quietly rule it. Sage Cheek Yeep of the Wudong sect speaks of a flower that bloomed far too early, and of skies that are rarely clear. He does not turn around. He simply tells the intruder to show himself before he drags him out. An old friend strolls out laughing, asking for the dewdrop liquor he says he already shared with some lad he ran into. Between drinks the question sharpens. Whose idea was the demon shield troop? Was it Seo Moonhwa's? He swears he will not oppose them again. He learned that lesson once, and he says he learned it hard. The warning is plain. Roam wherever you like, but do not get in our way. At the arena, Myong Ryusan loses his match and the crowd roars for him anyway, chanting for the Bloodhound warrior. In the stands, Muon is recognized instantly. Captain Yong Musong of the Iron Sect leans in and names him the Northern Blade. Then the captain gets serious. Did the Northern Blade bare his fangs too soon? Monsters crawl out of the darkness once they catch the scent of blood on a man, and Muon now has people to lose. The finals open with the Guardians of the World on display. 3 of the 9 skies have come to watch. Someone speaks at Muon's shoulder, praising him for holding back. It is Nung Gun Wai, the windstorm master of the 9 skies, standing close enough to kill him. He tells Muon he will not stop a revenge against the Heavenly Alliance, and would accept death at his hands. The 9 skies have shackled each other, he says, and those chains cannot be broken by ordinary means. He calls Muon the descendant of the North and apologizes, then vanishes into the crowd. The Demon Shield Troop finals begin, and the fight is uglier than the ceremony promised. A challenger taunts Shim Wani Ui of the Deadly Skies for being a disappointment despite his 7 small skies name. Shim Wani Ui answers by telling him to shut his damn trap. The challenger is already celebrating, sure the leader's seat belongs to him. He never finishes the sentence. Shim Wani Ui is faster. It is over in a breath. Shim Wani Ui of the Deadly Skies is declared leader of the Demon Shield Troop. Elsewhere sits the intelligence board, where every scrap of information the Heavenly Alliance gathers is stored. There a captain lays down his name card and announces he is stepping down. The chief administrator explodes. He did not appoint a captain just to be stabbed in the back. The answer is calm. He served another master the whole time, but he never shirked his duties. The threat follows him out. Neither he nor Jin Muon will live very long, and he will see soon enough. The latest reports come flooding in from across the world. Since this is likely his last visit to the intelligence board, he decides to soak up every scrap he can. On the day of Jin Muon's trial, something else was already moving in the world. A woman stands over a field of corpses and calls them what they were, heinous bandits. They tried to ambush merchants who had been kind to her, so she gave them what they deserved. Now the warriors who came to avenge them call her a witch and gang up to kill her. The survivors of the Kunlun and Zhongnan sects realize the truth too late. She has slain them all. She tells them she is kind to her allies, and only her enemies see a witch. Word races across the provinces, dozens of warriors from 2 great sects wiped out by a single woman. Dam Sucheon takes the request without hesitation. First bandits, now a witch, and he rides out immediately. Then he sees her face and stops cold. Miss Un, the woman who stood beside leader Jin 7 years ago. He admits he knew she was no ordinary person back then, but he never expected this much strength. She looks at him blankly and asks who he is. She insists she is not a witch. So he asks her to explain the gruesome remains piled behind her. He recites the old verse and names her, the Witch of the White Night. She corrects him. She is the master of the White Night. His sacred light flares, and the duel between the Lone Star and the White Knight begins. Back at the Tang residence, Miss Tang patches Muon's ruined clothes with the sturdiest fabric she can find. She notes his wounds have almost closed, and he thanks her for everything. Warrior So bursts in with a scroll pulled from the latest intelligence board reports. A witch has appeared near Zhaoyang in Hubei, and she has fair skin and silver hair. One name leaves Muon's mouth. Hanseo. And then he is gone. He arrives mid-battle and calls out to her by her old name before correcting himself. Witch of the White Knight. She answers with silver soul energy, and the air itself turns to knives. Dame Sucheon is genuinely impressed. So this is the true power of one of the Silent Knight's great four masters. He grins and calls for more. This is finally worth his full effort. Her ring of moonlight circles him, and he admits it is becoming a real problem. He never expected to use the techniques he saved for the Demon of Chaos in a fight like this. He declares the legend of the Great Four Masters will be brought down by Dame Sucheon, the Lone Star in the blue sky. Then a blade strikes her from the side. Someone else landed the hit. Dame Sucheon is furious. He was fighting fair, and someone stole the moment. Muon's voice cuts through the field. Let go of her hand, Master Dame. Warrior So's men lock down the perimeter. Not a single witness may come near their master. Muon says it again, quietly, with his hand on his blade. Let go of her hand, Master Dame. The warriors around them go pale. It is the Northern Blade. Muon looks at Hanseo and sees something wrong. She is not herself. She has gone berserk. Dame Sucheon greets him almost warmly. 7 years since they last spoke face to face. He says he was moved by Muon's argument at the trial and by his duel against Yun Chionhua. Then the real question. How is it that Miss Un has appeared before him as the Witch of the White Knight? Muon admits the lie. He called Hanseo his cousin 7 years ago, but she simply appeared at the ruined sect one day. Back then he was barely surviving in the ashes, and she was the friend who gave him a reason to keep going. Dame Sucheon does not budge. Whatever she was, she is now a public enemy who has taken countless lives. He reminds Muon that he has only just cleared his sect's name, and asks him to step aside. Muon refuses, so Dame Sucheon warns him that force is the only option left. Mid-fight Dame Sucheon notices it. His opponent is not focused on him at all. He is distracted. He backs off with a sigh, mocking himself for the things men do for love. He announces the official story: the witch fled during their duel, and he lost her. But the line is drawn. If she surfaces again, he shows no mercy, no matter what Muon says. Muon reaches her through the storm of blades and tells her the truth. He missed her. Her eyes clear for the first time in 7 years. Moon? Yeah, he says. It is me. He holds her and says it again. He missed her. She panics, asking if she hurt him, apologizing over and over. Then her own weapon turns on her. The ring blades stop obeying, and she screams at them to stop. Needles bite into her back out of nowhere, and Muon grabs her as she falls. He never sensed the attacker at all. Whoever it is, he is a master of hiding techniques. Hanseo recognizes the man instantly. Seong. He spits at her that the master of the White Knight is forbidden emotions of any kind. For 7 years they erased her memories and froze her feelings, and it was all wasted. He calls her a failure. A worthless failure. The truth lands: she never controlled the demonic energy in the Ring of Moonlight. It was consuming her. Worse, their master ordered her death the moment she proved to be a failure. The needles carry an energy that is the opposite of her own, and they are heading for her heart. He bids her farewell as the former master of the White Knight, and promises they are not done with Jean Muon. Muon crashes back into the Tang residence carrying her, and everyone freezes. He begs Master Tang to look at her. She has lost consciousness and will not stop convulsing. The room realizes what he has brought home. That white-haired woman is the master of the White Knight. The scholar is horrified. Everything they did to clear the Northern Heavenly Sect's name is now at risk. Muon says only one thing, over and over. He will take care of everything. The Heavenly Alliance's Northern Heavenly branch falls to the Silent Knight far too easily. With the branch broken, the Demon Shield Troop is dispatched north. Captain Shim Ui rides at their head with 4 vice captains behind him. He looks back at an empty road and asks the father who never came whether he is still not good enough. He promises himself that when he returns a hero, he will pull down the 9 skies and take the world. In a quiet room, the plotters agree that timing is perfect now that the troop has marched out. Minister Quan is asked if he is ready to fight, and a justification is promised soon. Higher up, the invisible warrior of the 9 skies is told the Demon Shield Troop has been formed successfully. Then Quan Daesung asks for permission to reawaken the Mugang, the demon of chaos. His master laughs, genuinely impressed that the ruined Northern Heavenly Sect produced a warrior like this boy. Permission granted. Wake the demon of chaos and use him however he likes. At the Tang residence, Master Tang says Hanseal's heart and veins are a mess he barely stabilized. He tells Muon plainly to resolve this fast, because the situation is far too dangerous to last. In town, drinkers spot Myong Ryusan and mob him as the Bloodhound Warrior. He was sent for medicinal herbs. He decides one drink cannot hurt. Then Seo Moon Hyeryang walks in, and his stomach drops. She flatters him, calling his fighting at the recent match amazing. Then she gets to the point. The Blue Dragon Society wants him, but he is standing with Jean Moon. The question arrives wrapped in a smile. Has Jean Moon done anything involving the Silent Knight? Ryu-san looks her dead in the eye and says 2 words. Screw you. She laughs it off and calls him an interesting man, exactly what she expects from someone brave. She pivots, telling him he is not being given nearly enough credit in this world. Then the bait, a witch with white hair slaughtered dozens of warriors and escaped leader damn. White hair. Ryu-san's face changes. That sounds like the girl Jean brought home. One flicker of recognition, and he knows he is finished. She gives the order without raising her voice. Tell Minister Quan it is time. Back at the manor, the scholar realizes Ryu-san is missing and gets a very bad feeling. Then the report, dozens of warriors are marching on the manor right now. And dozens more are closing in from the south. Muon gives one order. Hide Miss Un immediately. The gates burst open. Search the premises, leave no stone unturned. Minister Quan walks in at the head of the army, all courtesy and no mercy. He claims an urgent matter that threatens the Heavenly Alliance itself. Privately, he is ready to force Ryu-san to testify that Jean Moon colluded with the Silent Knight. With the Demon Shield Troop gone and the world watching them, this is his one chance to erase Jean Moon. So he asks it out loud. Did you bring the Witch of the White Knight into the Heavenly Alliance? Then he brings out his witness. The man who stood at Muon's side and saw everything. Ryu-san is dragged forward, gasping that they are lying, that he never meant to. It clicks for Muon. Minister Quan is the mastermind behind the 2-faced demons. He turns to Warrior So and tells him to round everyone up and get them out of the Heavenly Alliance. He will not let anyone else suffer for him, so he draws his sword alone. Minister Quan smiles. So he has chosen the path of bloodshed. The words hang in the air. So you have chosen the path of bloodshed. Muon answers that they have hundreds of reasons to want him gone anyway. Quan plays the wounded servant, asking how he could sit still after hearing the witch was brought inside. Under his breath he admits he is a disgraceful human being, and says he has no other choice. Muon asks the only question that matters. Where is the evidence? All he did, he says, was shelter an injured woman he loves who had nowhere else to go. Quan points to his witness again. Young Master Myong confessed everything. Muon throws it back at him. He really believed the words of that reckless, immature fool? And on that alone he marched an entire army in and risked antagonizing the Tang family? Quan insists that an innocent man would simply cooperate with the search. Muon will not run. They will pounce on any excuse to frame him, so it ends here. Quan drops the mask entirely. Like father, like son. One order, and hundreds of warriors move at once. Get him. Muon names it out loud. This is how the Heavenly Alliance rules the world, and he will expose the minister's role in it. A familiar voice cuts in, disappointed that he could not stay out of trouble. Muon has been waiting for this face. Zhou Wunkyung, the two-faced demon. He draws Snowflower and tells the blade it is time for revenge. Zhou Wunkyung explains it simply. They are the second Silent Night. They are building forces and planting spies in every sect, a backup plan for when the Silent Night stops obeying. The offer is made. Join him or be killed for knowing far too much. Muon refuses. Zhou Wunkyung slaughtered innocents just to master demonic techniques. Zhou Wunkyung turns it around, accusing Muon of getting addicted to his own power without noticing. And Muon does not deny it. He says, yeah, you are right. But then he draws the line. Fighting to protect and fighting to take are two completely different things. Outside, warrior So's men form a wall. Protect these people with your lives. The scholar curses himself. 3 variables he overlooked put them all in this trap. Tang Mirio cannot use poison with her own people packed this close, so she fights anyway. Then Ryu-san does something insane. He throws himself the wrong way, toward the enemy. He shouts back that he will buy them time, and tells them to get to safety. The scholar screams at him not to do it. He cannot fight them all alone. Ryu-san plants himself in the gateway. From here on, nobody gets through. And if any of them try, he will kill them. Do they hear him? Ryu-san holds the gate alone, daring the entire Heavenly Alliance to come through him. The first wave learns the hard way. He is not the joke they took him for. Every time they slip past, he drags them back. Oh no, you don't. Between blows he breaks. This is all his fault. All he had to do was keep his big mouth shut, and he could not even manage that. So he stops apologizing and starts calling them in. Come at me. The report reaches Seo Moon Hyeryong. The Bloodhound warrior is blocking the gates and scattering her forces. Her answer is flat. Go take care of the Bloodhound warrior. Yun Soso, head bodyguard of the Seo Moon family, promises to chop off his limbs and his tongue. Meanwhile, Hyeryang studies Zhou Wunkyung and confirms it. That is Zhou Chanwa's eldest son. What she cannot explain is why he burns with that energy while following the minister's orders. Quan tells her to sit back and watch. The Alliance's web is far vaster than she thinks. Zhou Wunkyung insists again that they are alike, and points at all the corpses Muon made. Then he reveals why he wanted this battlefield. All that spilled blood is feeding him. Muon tears through the technique anyway, and Zhou Wunkyung laughs like a proud senior. But he twisted away at the last instant and saved his vital points, and Muon knows this is not over. Then a new shadow lands between them, and even Muon stops. The Mugang. The demon of chaos. He smiles at Muon like an old acquaintance. Long time no see, son of the Northern Heavenly Sect. The demon of chaos greets him like family. Long time no see, son of the Northern Heavenly Sect. Muon cannot believe it. The Mugang is standing in the Heavenly Alliance. This is the monster who started the Silent Night Civil War and hunted its great 4 masters for sport. Which raises the impossible question, he was part of the Heavenly Alliance the whole time. The Mugang says he belongs to no group. Because he cannot die, he simply gets dragged around by bastards. Then he gets to the point. Moon. Let's end things here. Hyeryang remembers him too. 7 years ago at the ruined sect, he ambushed them out of nowhere. He killed Sua, broke Shimwan Ui with his own inner demon, and handed Dam Sucheon his first defeat. She demands answers from Quan, who tells her it is exactly what it looks like. The demon of chaos serves that person, the true ruler of the world, and she should ask her grandfather about him. Kwon reveals he always knew about her plan to build a new world through the Blue Dragon Society. The offer is generous and rotten, obey, and they will make her a hero on the level of the 9 skies. The demon of chaos turns back to Muon and asks to see how much he has grown. Jo Woon-kyung introduces himself to the monster as a junior with the blood of 10 women technique. Muon calculates fast. Dragging this out kills him, so he needs one decisive blow. He unleashes the blade of darkness and destruction. The Mugang laughs with delight. It has been ages since anything hit him that his immortal body could not shrug off. He calls Muon one of the few people who could kill him in an entertaining way, then says the fight is over. A new figure drops onto the battlefield, and the whole courtyard turns. It is Dam Soo-cheon. Nobody expected him here. Kwon rounds on Heir Young. She told him young Master Dam was taken care of. He tears into her, saying she failed her only job and clearly falls short of her grandfather. Dam Soo-cheon confronts her himself. So that is why she sent him off to Anhui to deal with bandits. He asks the obvious out loud, why mobilize hundreds of warriors for one man, and why is the demon of chaos here? Kwon warns him that defying the Heavenly Alliance is not something even a hero survives. Dam Soo-cheon shrugs and asks whether his father, Dam Jichim of the 9 skies, would stand for it. Then he says the thing he actually means. That is why he will create a new world. He turns to Muon and apologizes for Heir Young, noting he has landed in trouble yet again. But he has his own score to settle with the monster standing across from them. He makes the call. Leave the demon of chaos to him. Muon should focus on the other one instead. Dam Soo-cheon charges, shouting that he has waited 7 years for this day. Jo Woon-kyung notes that Muon fights differently now that he has a friend at his back. Elsewhere, Ryu-san grins through the blood. He lost his shoulder, but he gained a sword. Then Muon's body locks up mid-swing and refuses to move. He answers with the hands of death, and Jo Woon-kyung's face falls apart. That was his father's technique, the one used against Muon in their duel. He took beatings for over 10 years to inherit those techniques and still has not mastered them. The Mugang critiques it coolly. Good imitation, but the killing power is still inadequate. Jo Woon-kyung snaps, daring Muon to copy the blood of 10 women technique next. At the gate, someone tells Ryu-san to move aside. Yun Soso introduces herself, head bodyguard of the Seo Moon family and a member of the 7 Small Skies. Ryu-san calls it his lucky day, because he gets to beat up someone like her. She fires back that he is nothing but Seo Moon Heir Young's dog, and he swears he will take her place. Across the courtyard, Jo Woon-kyung staggers, calling Muon heartless. He reminds him he took care of him at the sect, in the brutal cold of the north. Then he looks down at his own slashed stomach with something like admiration. Snowflower finally has what it waited for. The blade got its revenge at last. Dam Soo-cheon hoped old age had softened the monster. It has not. The Mugang laughs, asking if it is finally time for him to die. So he retaliates with everything he has left for what he calls his final battle. Afterward, Dam Soo-cheon warns that the demon is immortal and could wake, so he will stay and watch him. He sends Muon ahead. He has people to protect, doesn't he? Jo Woon-kyung, dying, still croaks orders at his demon team to go after Moon. His strategist screams for him, but the young master is already gone. Minister Kwon makes the call that changes everything. Deploy the 9 skies. He is heading for the tower with 9 roofs himself. Fleeing at last, Warrior So's group notices the pursuit thinning out behind them. They tell themselves Ryu-san bought this escape and will rejoin them soon. Then something blocks the road ahead. Seo Moon-hwa of the 9 skies. The name goes around the group like a death sentence. Seo Moon-hwa, the great sage of the 9 skies. The old man is amused to be recognized on sight. The scholar shrugs that anyone would, since he has distorted the space with formations and radiates energy screaming his own name. Seo Moon-hwa admits he always wanted to see the face of the man who kept outwitting his granddaughter. The scholar sees the trap for what it is. They shook off the fox and lured in the tiger. Then the sage explains the real reason his family is the smartest in the world. They hunt down and erase every genius who rivals them. Which means the scholar is next on that list. Tang Kim enrages, and Seo Moon-hwa calmly calls the Tang family's future bleak. He reminds them the Tang family was built on the same corpses in shuttered sections. Then the formation closes, and the world goes dark around them. The scholar shouts for everyone to stay calm and hold on to their sanity. At this rate they all fall to their own inner demons, so they must break free now. He remembers all those days spent burying strange rocks for no reason anyone could explain. He planted them every single day, in every corner, without missing a spot. The whole Heavenly Alliance was the base of his counterattack all along. He built it to answer the Seo Moon family's 10,000 tactics, which Hyeryang once demonstrated on him. He tells the old man to brace himself, and Seo Moon-hwa says only one word. Impressive. Elsewhere the Mugang explains his flames of chaos. They invade an opponent's energy and convert it for absorption. Dam Su-cheon invites him to absorb all he wants, then asks if he can recover from having his organs turned to ash. The demon of chaos concedes. Nobody has ever destroyed him from the inside before. The truth surfaces at last. A century and a half ago he made a deal with a demon to spare one woman's life. That woman lost her memories and emotions to the silver light of the ice crystal and became one of the great four masters. He thanks Dam Su-cheon for putting an end to his miserable life. Inside the formation, Tang Miria was falling apart, and her uncle begs her to breathe. The scholar has already torn the formation open, faster than anyone expected. Warrior So splits his men, 2 to cover him, the rest to guard the master of 10,000 poisons. And guard Misun with their lives, because they are fighting the 9 skies now. The scholar knows destroying the formation is not enough. He has to counterattack immediately. Seo Moon-hwa is almost delighted. The little scholar is actually trying to hit him back. But delight is not respect. He tells him he is still no match for an old man. He turns on the men striking at his back and calls them vermin. Tang Kim goes in swinging, poison in every strike. Seo Moon-hwa decides the gourd bottle has to go first. So Tang Kim empties everything he has left into one throw. But the gourd runs dry, and the counterblow lands. The sage tells him that is what he gets for looking away mid-fight. Then Tang Kim stands back up, and even Seo Moon-hwa hesitates. How is a man this strong when he is on the verge of death? At the gate, Ryu-san stands over Yun So-so, unimpressed with the 7 small skies. Then his knees go, and he can barely breathe. His last clear thought is a hope that his master is safe. Bleeding out, he calls himself an idiot who wasted a once-in-a-lifetime chance. Still, he was accepted as a warrior of the Tang family and made a small name in the world. Not bad for a street thing from a small town. Right, Mom? It looks like he is going to die here. Then a hand catches him. Who says you're dying? Elsewhere in the wreckage, the poison masters check each other and find they are somehow still alive. Tang Kim explains he hit Seo Moon-hwa with 3 poisons layered together, and it is only a matter of time. They just have to hold out until it takes. But the sage is still standing, and the fight is grinding the scholar down. Even with everything he prepared, he wonders if it is still not enough. Seo Moon-hwa tells him he was genuinely impressive, but he has never unleashed an attack of this scale before. In the end it comes down to age and experience, and that cannot be planned around. Then reinforcements crash in. Master Mugwang of the Gongdong sect and Nam Surian of Mount Wu. They demand to know what crime these people committed to deserve the 9 skies. They say it plainly, the 9 skies should be protecting the mainland, not using force on its own people. Seo Moon-hwa asks if 2 sects really think they will be safe after this. Back at the gate, the hand holding Ryu-san up belongs to Muon. Who says you're dying? Ryu-san blinks up at him, and Muon tells him he did good work and to hang in there. Ryu-san jokes that Muon beating him up in training was more effective than anything the Alliance threw at him. But Muon can feel it. His energy is growing weaker. Everything had gone smoothly since he came out into the world, and he got careless without noticing. Ryu-san rasps that none of this would have happened if not for his big mouth. Then he asks Muon to take good care of his master. Muon keeps repeating that he will survive, over and over, until a voice screams his name. Chang Yinjin says it flatly. He's dead. Put him down. Muon will not let go. Hey! Ryuzan? Chang Yinjin grabs him and shouts that he is the heart of this operation and cannot break now. Is he going to make that sacrifice worthless? Pull yourself together. The intel is grim, the others are fighting Seo Manhwa himself, and there is no telling what happens next. Muon leaves Ryu-san in Chang Yinjin's hands and goes. Then the road ahead fills with bodies. It's the demon team. And out of the dark comes a voice Muon never expected. Sorry I'm late, young master.